tells you how much of an opportunity you have to promote your export business through us as a banking partner.
The EcoBank Export Forum, in partnership with the Ghana Export Promotion Agency and the AFTA Secretariat, brought together over 100 businesses eager to capitalize on the existing new era of intra-African trade. Winston Taki for Joy Business.
Thanks so much for being part of the bulletin with me, Pius.
Succeeding in business requires certain fundamentals and know-hows at every turn. In light of this, Joy Business is going a notch higher to bring you closer to top business leaders all over the world, right on your social media platforms with Joy Business Social. It's an insightful and interactive live session on your mobile devices. Joy Business Social comes your way this and every Thursday at 6 p.m. exclusively live on the Joy Business and Joy 99.7 FM Facebook pages. Follow our live updates and engage with us on Twitter via the hashtag Joy Business Social. You can also engage with us on LinkedIn at Joy Business Ghana. All your questions relating to business and the guest of the day will be tackled live and direct. Joy Business, empowering, prospering together.
A prisoner swap deal between Hamas and Israel in 2011. But ultimately, Egypt's power is in Gaza comes from its control of Rafah border crossing, the only entry and exit point not controlled by Israel. Egyptian authorities can close the Rafah crossing whenever they want, making it nearly impossible for the 2 million people living in Gaza to leave or enter. For more context, let's speak to Abdelmonem Said, who is on the advisory board at the Egyptian Center for Strategic Studies in Cairo. Now, Abdelmonem, thank you very much for making time for us. It appears that now all focus has shifted to Egypt to end the Israel-Gaza conflict. Of what significance is this?
What mean that? It means that Egypt has been trained very much on that business, although this one is much tougher and much more complex than previous one. We call this the fifth Gaza war. There was 4 wars before that in which Egypt mediated and succeeded. So there is a record of success. Plus, Egypt has an interest on that. We are talking here geopolitics. You have Gaza and Israel are neighbors of Egypt. And when you have a fire in your neighborhood, then it might come to you. And Egypt is working on the stability of the Middle East region in general. However, I will say that it is very tough this time. Tough because the first hit was not Israel only. It was by Hamas, and then Israeli bounded Gaza for the past now 5 months or more, and really creating a humanistic catastrophe over there. Therefore, Egypt is trying to work out with the Qataris, with the Americans, with any other partner to get this conflict into a kind of a truce. That's what Egypt is trying now, and we're waiting for the results of the negotiations. Probably tonight or tomorrow morning, we will get, what the score will be.
Well, you've said that Egypt has been successful before. Do you think they can rely on this history to solve the current problem? And what success do they stand?
Well, we succeeded a little bit in a previous truce that continued for a week. And Egypt got the asset of having access to Hamas, to the Palestinian Authority, to Israel, and Israel, I mean here, all the organs of, that's related to the problem, whether the intelligence Mossad or the Ministry of Defense, or even Mr. Netanyahu. I mean, Egypt access to Israel is fine, and vice versa. So we are, in connection with all the parties, but the parties are under a lot of internal pressures, whether Hamas or Israel, to try to win this war, which is unwinnable to any side. And the only thing we can do, yes.
So another question is, why now? I mean, this war has been going on for months. Why are they just bringing in Egypt sort of right now?
Egypt has been here since the whole months. Egypt, from the beginning, they tried a first truce, and it took a week, and then, ceasefire was broken, and now we are trying to have another truce with a longer time this time, because it is impossible so far, because of the American veto in the Security Council, to have an order of a ceasefire comprehensive, and now. So as we cannot give that, we give the lesser evil, which is to get a ceasefire for a reasonable time in order to negotiate. And that's 45 days. That's what we are negotiating about, and coupled with the release of hostages and captives.
Abdelmonem, just very briefly, I mean, what's the perception of the Egyptians right now, given the complexities of the conflict?
Well, of course, the Egyptians, feeling is really supportive of the Palestinian cause for a long period of time, and now it is. But after the October 7th, we all hell broke.
Thank you, Abdelmonem. Thank you very much. We do appreciate your time and kind of breaking down this story for us. To Chad now, where 40 people have been killed in intercommunal clashes in the country's southeast. Authorities arrested 175 people following the violence and seized weapons and motorbikes. Local media also reporting that large parts of the village were torched. Intercommunal clashes are common in some parts of the country, usually involving nomadic Arab herders and indigenous farmers as well. Dr. Remaji Hoinati is a senior researcher at the Institute for Security Studies. He told me more about what had happened from the Chadian capital of N'Djamena.
Actually, what we know about these clashes is that there have been more than 40 people that have been killed. and dozens of others that have been injured. And it's labeled as usually as an intercommunity conflict, meaning opposing two communities. And a governmental mission have been on the ground and arresting then more than 100 people and collecting also many weapons, including fire weapons and other kind of swords and other kind of weapons.
Now, intercommunal clashes are not so new to this part of Chad. What do we know about the groups fighting this time?
What we know from now is that it's two communities opposed around one of the main reasons that communities fight here in the country. So about territories, about resources like agricultural land, pasture, but also just territories and limits of territories. But even the government, after the mission, till now is not really communicating about what really happened on the ground and what kind of communities have been opposed actually.
Why does it seem as though it's become increasingly difficult for the government to contain the intercommunal clashes in this region?
What makes it difficult? I mean, there are three reasons, basically. The first is the great number of those conflicts, and they are recurrent in the country, throughout the country. The second is also the regular use of weapons, and I'm talking here about fire weapons. And this is creating a lot of consequences in terms of death toll, but also of material consequences. When talking about the multiplication of those conflicts, it's basically due to the fragility, environmental fragility that actually is creating a lot of competition between communities around resources that are already very scarce. Talking about land, about water, about pasture, and about other vital resources. Those conflicts are also multiplying or repeating because there is a lot of difficulties with the government finding the right solutions, meaning working on the root causes of the conflicts. This is one, and applying justice when this really needs to be done. When those conflicts happen, what is made is those kind of ministerial missions that actually would go on the ground, try to bring in ad hoc solutions in terms of collecting weapons, in terms of arresting people, in terms also of obliging the communities in presence to reconcile without working out a kind of mid-term, long-term solution, meaning actually working on the root causes of the conflict, meaning working about the grievances that actually brought the conflict. And then erecting the right responsibles of the conflict in terms of who actually used fire weapons, who killed who, etc., and then letting the justice really set the solution in a way that this could prevent further conflicts. But then when this is not done, it means that beyond those missions, the root causes of the grievances are there. And those grievances just keep growing. And then we have done those repetitive conflicts because the root causes are always there in the communities.
Now, finally, Dr. Amaji, you've mentioned the problem of high circulation of weapons within Chad and what is contributing towards this particular conflict. Is it a Chad issue because they've also been concerned that weapons are coming in from Chad into the Sudan conflict?
The very history of the country, its geographical situation actually made it a real passing point for weapons from different conflict situations to others. We know that Chad as a country has been experiencing a very long-term instability with civil war in the 70s and the 80s. And then a lot of rebel groups that actually have been also in the country. And then in this last decade, we have the Libyan conflict that actually also provoked a lot of circulation of weapons from the extreme north of Chad through the other part of the countries that ending in a lot of conflict theater.
Still to come, it's thirsty work in South Africa's biggest city, Johannesburg, where some taps have been dry for a fortnight. But what caused the problem? We'll find out.
Succeeding in business requires certain fundamentals and know-hows at every turn. In light of this, Joy Business is going a notch higher to bring you closer to top business leaders all over the world, right on your social media platforms with Joy Business Social. It's an insightful and interactive live session on your mobile devices. Joy Business Social comes your way this and every Thursday at 6 p.m. exclusively live on the Joy Business and Joy 99.7 FM Facebook pages. Follow our live updates and engage with us on Twitter via the hashtag Joy Business Social. You can also engage with us on LinkedIn at Joy Business Ghana. All your questions relating to business and the guest of the day will be tackled live and direct. Joy Business, empowering, prospering together.
I am Richard Kwejinyakon, Kotokraba Street, Cape Coast, and this
often do get notice, which fortunately in my case does help, but sometimes we don't get notice. So it's always important to be prepared for it to happen without being told to you. So that's why I always at all times leave a few containers of water by my side. For me personally, the situation has not been very challenging because I live alone, so I always have water by my side. And usually when the water goes off for us, it's for not more than 12 hours. So it's something I can plan around. But I imagine that if you live in a family unit, it's a lot more challenging because water will deplete a lot quicker.
Now, this is not just a problem unique to South Africa, though. Dr. Anthony Tarton is based at the University of Free State in South Africa and specializes in water resource management. He told me more about what had been going on.
You must appreciate that Africa, as a developing continent, has got certain challenges. And one of the challenges is the conversion of its natural resources into revenues and into viable jobs. And one of the most foundational of all of those resources is water. But in order to take water out of a river and convert it into something that is socially useful and economically viable, you need to have institutions that channel money, that channel design, that channel engineering solutions into place. So institutions are really extremely important in the way that we manage water. And South Africa is demonstrating at the moment what happens when institutional failure starts kicking in, when you start seeing the largest single conglomeration of industry and commerce on the continent of Africa starts falling apart as a result.
So this problem is not just unique to South Africa. What other African countries face similar shortages, and to what extent?
It is in fact a continental problem. And if I had to describe the problem of the continent of Africa, is the conversion of rainfall to runoff. Africa has got a certain conversion of rainfall to runoff. And what that means is of 100 units of rain that fall out of the sky, about something like 30 units end up in the river over the whole of Africa. But there's certain parts of Africa that are very, very water constrained. And there you get as low as 5 units of rain that fall out the sky end up in the river. So it's that conversion of rainfall to runoff that is a major challenge for Africa's future. To manage this up to now, we've built dams, and dams in general have been quite successful, but there are more dams in the southern part of Africa than there are over the rest of the continent.
And let's talk about the availability of fresh water in Africa, mainly water that's usable. How's the continent doing when it comes to that?
Well, Africa is fairly well endowed with water. Depends on where you are. The central part of the continent is extremely well endowed with water, the Congo River Basin. And if you go a little bit further beyond that, then the other river basins, such as the Zambezi and the Nile, these are all relatively well endowed. But then if you move further north and south of that, you go into desert areas. So the distribution of rainfall in Africa is unequal, and more importantly, the distribution of rivers is unequal. And that is why when it comes to talking about water for peace, which is the theme this year for World Water Day, then you have to start looking at how to build institutions. And of course, Africa is home to a very, very significant body of international water law. And that came out of the SADC community, the Southern African Development Community region, where the SADC Protocol and shared watercourse systems is in fact the foundation of international law.
What do governments across the continent need to do to avoid water shortages and cushion themselves from scarcity as well?
I think the most important thing is to regard water as an economic enabler. We don't hear people talking about that much. What we hear people talking about is always water scarcity as it would apply to an individual. Never ever water scarcity as it would apply to an economy. And I think that's a very important distinction that we need to make. And I'll just give you some numbers just to give you some insight. It takes, let's call it 2 liters of water per person per day to keep that person alive. But they won't be very clean and they won't be very healthy. It takes 200 liters per person per day to keep that person clean and to enable them to have a healthy lifestyle.
Eugene's career continues to go from strength to strength, scoring international hits with his mix of Afrobeats and high life. But with his homeland hitting the headlines recently with a major economic crisis and backlash against new anti-LGBTQ laws, how does that influence his music and affect his mission to go global? Well, our reporter Daniel Dadzi met him to find out, as well as see how he composes his music. Take a look.
Some girls nowadays, them ask for some cryptocurrency. It's a different thing how we do in the 21st century.
What comes to mind when you're writing music?
One thing I love to do is to observe what's going on in the whole world, and I'll put together something I think people want to hear. It's either some sound they can enjoy with, or something they can sit all by themselves and help them reminisce.
A lot of people have talked about how things are tough in Ghana, economy-wise, and have been for the past few years.
Yeah.
How does it reflect in your music when you hear issues like that?
That's why I love to talk about hope as well. Because no matter the situation, you need to have some kind of hope as a backbone for you to get up every morning and keep going.
What would you say has had the most influence on you when you're finding the sound for a song?
I mean, definitely 100% high life music. Because I grew up listening to legends like Daddy Lumba, Amachi Dede Kojentwi, Osibisa. There's some influence from these people in my music.
Hello, Monica. Can you come over? Baby, drop love and dinner.
With the help of TikTok and Instagram Reels right now, music can actually travel in a very short pace. You know, you can get it to almost everywhere in the world. That's how come we get these invitations that, oh, there's an O2 show. We want to have you on for this fee. Because they've seen a song on TikTok, even though they live in the UK.
Sometimes issues come up that make people dislike the country that you're from. Like maybe a parliament may decide something, or an MP may make a statement, and then you find that the rest of the world does not agree as much as possible. Does that affect the way your music is accepted in any way?
It's about putting the content you have out there. So your idea may be different from whatever is going on in the country at that moment, and it can still work because, like I said earlier on, TikTok is not just about your country. TikTok is for the whole of the world. So long as you can put together a content that pleases the world, I think you're okay. You don't need a bill from the parliament to affect your music. Do you get it? So long as you can have something that the world can jump on, it's okay for you.
Kwame, let's play some music.
Thank you. Okay. Wait, let's do something, a touch of high life music, but then again, Afrobeat kind of.
Oh, you my love. If you don't love me today, I don't know what I'm falling low-key. To you, my love. If you don't love me, baby, me, I don't know that I'm falling low-key. Oh, you my love. If you don't love me, baby, I don't know I'm falling low-key.
And just a reminder of our top story, the UN Security Council has rejected the US draft ceasefire resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza as part of a hostage deal. The decision was made after Russia and China, who are permanent members, vetoed a US-led draft resolution at the Security Council on a ceasefire in Gaza, joining Arab countries in saying it did not pressure Israel, with Moscow accusing Washington of a hypocritical spectacle. It comes as UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres arrives in Egypt today for discussions on how best to get aid into Gaza. Well, that's it from the program, from me and the rest of Focus on Africa team. Goodbye.
I am Richard Kwejinyakon, Kwadokraba Street, Cape Coast, and this is JoyNews. Independent, fearless, credible.
Journalism must be balanced. Well, we go beyond that. We say journalism must be fair and objective. In Ghana, the media operates in a polarized space. There is pressure on us to pick a side. But at JoyNews, we operate in a layer above the noise. The only master we serve is our audience.
News should not be something that is presented to you. Those days are over. These days, news is interactive. It is conversational. Our audience is no longer passive, but part of our storytelling. We tell stories that are rooted in the hearts of those who are affected. Hello there. My name is Mama View Swampwaje.
I am Martina Bugrin Tamale, and this is JoyNews. Independent, fearless, and credible.
Your favorite on-air business development program on radio, Joy Business Masterclass, is now showing on JoyNews.
It's absolutely important for you to put a structure to your business. It's interesting. Please continue, Rich.
Masterclass will come your way with the very best of facilitators who will guide you through specific areas of business, finance, economy, and industry. Don't miss this practical and comprehensive knowledge-sharing experience with people in business. Joy Business, empowering, prospering together.
My name is Mohammed Nuruddin in Kumasi, and this is JoyNews. Independent, fearless, and credible.
No, we're having a conversation. No, it's a conversation. I know, but I'm saying conversation.
Thank you very much.
Politically correct. Aren't you tired of the overly refined political opinion, banter, and analysis on radio and television?
Well, it's time to break the shackles and liberate your political opinion on social media.
JoyNews is bringing to your favorite social media platform a political talk show like no other.
Raw, live, and interactive. We call it the state of play.
Join the best political team on social media. Evans Mensah, Winston Amwa, and Raymond Aqua every Thursday for 30 minutes at 2:30 p.m. exclusively on the JoyNews and Joy 99.7 FM Facebook pages, as well as on YouTube and Instagram for a live interaction. Drop your comments on our live stream and engage with us on Twitter via the hashtag State of Play. State of Play, simply politically incorrect.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Touchline. I'm George Addy Jr. Like we do every other weekend, we get to talk about what's been going on in the world of football and look forward to what's to come. I've got a fantastic panel to do the analysis. It's been a while since we got together, but of course we are here. And the behind the scenes has been very, very interesting. I've got watery eyes, obviously, because I've been laughing hard. And why not? I've got Raymond Yamado joining us from Ghana. Raymond, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, George. How are you too?
Yes, I'm good. Josh Akwe joining us from Ghana as well. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great, George. Ghana is good. Ghana is okay. Just hot, but I'm good.
Yeah, I hear there's a serious heat wave in Ghana. We're still chilling up out here. We're waiting for you, Josh, in Manchester. Hopefully we see you very soon back in the United Kingdom. But of course, Kofi Esitre joining us as well from London. Kofi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very fine, George. I like the formation today, the plus 4-4 and a plus 2-2 formation. Like, you know, 2 attacking and 2 defending. It's going to be massive. And I'm all here for it, bro.
Yeah, fantastic. And we're going to be talking a lot about the title race that's building up, irrespective of what happens on Sunday. Yeah, we're still going to have a discussion that will be healthy for the weeks to come, and looking at what Liverpool have got to do with the title, irrespective of what happens on Sunday, whether they lose or whether they win or whether they draw, what Man City have got to do, what Arsenal have got to do, and what the variables are really looking like and the probabilities going forward. But Kofi, you won an award. Highly contested. Was a highly contested award. Raymond, you won an award. You tell us about that first of all. I don't know if Raymond had reservations, but of course you won an award. What was that?
No comment. Probably. So
okay, yeah.
I got nominated for a Global Excellence Award from.
Paul said he liked the football. I was surprised because I was there at the Etihad, and it was virtually a football lesson. I mean, Man City are so ruthless when it comes to keeping the ball and playing the ball. And I think on the day, Onana even saved Manchester United. Raymond, why are you so excited then?
Well, George, I think that even before the game, nobody gave Manchester United a dog's chance. That first half goal, gave a couple of people hope. I think Arsenal fans were excited because United were leading, but it was only a matter of time because you look at how Manchester City were playing. They kept the ball, they kept putting pressure on Manchester United.
Unbelievable.
I mean, for once, I saw Onana have a man of match performance. I think that United were definitely going to lose that game, and nobody expects so much from United these days. And playing against a team like Manchester City. Manchester United were lucky they didn't concede 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, to be fair, because they were that good. They were that good today. I think Josh, you enjoyed the Manchester derby, I guess you did.
I enjoyed it until halftime because obviously I'm back into my natural habitat, and so I'm no more a City fan these days. And so I was hoping that Man United could do Arsenal a favor, but I mean they couldn't hold on to it. It was a good game, obviously. United could have gone 2 up or maybe even 3 up. You never know if Rashford had taken those chances. But I mean, over the course of the 90 minutes, the best team won, and you can't really.
I think so. I think so. And I was saying, not a lot of people put in this right perspective. And watching the game live, I thought Man City played better in the first half than the second half. They couldn't score well. They didn't score the goals in the first half, but they managed to score in the second half. And when Man City starts.
If United had
range, you know what it means, yeah.
If United had scored 3, City would have scored 4.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely defining, and that's a fact. Well, so let's get into the real analysis.
I'm not going to be asked about.
You are not going to be asked about. You are not going to be asked about the.
It's shocking.
You are actually not going to be asked about the Manchester derby. Joshua, I have a big issue when it comes to these referees in England, and I don't know. I don't know if you saw that West Brom game. Was it? I forgot. Was it West Brom and Queens Park Rangers? Did you see that game?
Yeah.
There was a hand of God moment in the game. They couldn't pick that up. Now, to my main question is, when the referee messes up in a game and you say the referee has not been handed, or the referee will not referee in the weekend, but will sit up in the VAR, is that punishment or is that promotion? Don't know. Where can you cause more havoc? I mean, on the pitch or up in the room there?
I think it's not punishment to me, because I look at the Premier League referees, and a lot of people have said that you look at the referees and it looks like in the Premier League, obviously players are held accountable for how bad they play. Coaches get sacked when their teams don't play well, but the referees are the only ones who are always protected. And for Portieni, even though most of the time I don't want to be agreeing with Kofi, I think I agree with Kofi here that he made a genuine mistake. But when you look at Portieni and what he's done over the course of the season, he's having a shocker of a season. He's probably one of the worst referees this season, and it's not just about this Liverpool Nottingham Forest game. So there have been several games like that, and it's not just him. You have the likes of Steve Cooper and the likes. They are committing blunders and errors almost every week, and it is costing teams. And so I think that they are being too protected, because you tell me in one breath that you've taken him off refereeing duties this weekend. But then guess what? He's on VAR for the Arsenal-Brentford game this weekend. And so where is the punishment really for?
I feel like there should be a total blackout. I mean, they can be short
No,
of referees.
like
There should be a total blackout where you are out.
Before the season starts, if the referees were accountable, were responsible for their want to take responsibility for their actions, there should be properly spelled out punishment for them. If you
don't do it.
There's this half degrees of punishment, half degrees of errors. If it's a first degree error, you go 3 games without you go through a match week without a game. If it's a second degree error, you go 2 games without it. Like, if it's just a minor error, that can be pardoned, fine. If not, have a 1-game ban. Like, let the referees feel that.
And I think we saw a similar incident with Anthony Taylor when he went to the championship, was given one of the biggest games in the championship.
Exactly.
Came back and then got Chelsea versus Man City the following weekend to officiate. That tells you that it's not punishment enough.
Exactly. How are you having managers? How are you having referees fly from Qatar, get into England on a Friday and Saturday officiating big matches? Why does it happen?
Well, yeah,
the professional. That's how professionals work. That's how professionals work.
Raymond, do you want to be a referee soon?
He probably has secret dreams of being a referee. Probably has secret dreams of being a referee, and just
no. But
obviously not in Ghana.
I don't know referees. It's a
no, I understand. Well, they do their jobs, they try it, but again, there are rules to it, and it's clear that the referees in England
I'll take
being pumped.
Referee lie over any of these boys lately, to be honest.
Probably they are being pumped. Okay, let's get to the matter. Of course, a lot of time has gone on this one, and clearly there will be a struggle for time today. I can clearly foresee that. We've got 3 gentlemen, so let's see how we can put this in a nice place. The only thing is that if Raymond, was a Man City fan, who have been excellent to having the 3, title contenders up here, but he's a Man City.
That's why I have to decide where this one goes.
Yeah, let's see where it goes there. Let's start with Arsenal, really. But Josh, let's talk about Arsenal quickly. Because start of the season, very close to the end of the year, they started looking like a side that could not keep up the pressure. All of a sudden, they're beginning to score goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 4 goals, winning games back to back, showing that they've got a lot of power going forward. And they should be very excited. What has really changed? And just I think in the last game we had the likes of Thomas Partey, Tierney, a number of the guys are coming back. What was the young man's name? The man from Ajax. They're coming back. A lot of the players are coming back, and so it looks like they're beginning to. You may want to call it arrogant, but well, Arteta said they haven't yet hit top gear, so this is probably gear 1. So there's a gear 2 and a gear 3 to come. Wow, what a stage for us now.
I think the front men are beginning to score the chances they get in games, because you watch them from the beginning of the season and they've played like this from the start of the season. The only problem that they had was the fact that they couldn't finish off chances, and a lot of people said that Arsenal needed to go into the January transfer window and get a striker. It was a talk from the start of the season until recently, where they've hit some form. And you look at them midfield wise, they've been good. Defensively, they're beginning to score goals. I mean, you look at the likes of Kai Havertz, who's come into his own within the last couple of games. You look at Bukayo Saka, who's scoring now, who was struggling a little bit at the start of the season. You look at guys like Martinelli and co. They are beginning to score goals, and now you look at the midfield dynamic where Jorginho is coming, and so he's giving more freedom to Declan Rice to search forward, who is also adding numbers into the box. It really looks like the team is now beginning to get some life into them, and now they are beginning to feel free and play the football they want to play. And I also think that the fact that they are not on top of the table has taken some pressure off them, and so now the pressure is really very much on Man City and Liverpool, because you look at all the predictions and everything all the pundits say. Man City are their number one, Liverpool are their number two. For some, it's Liverpool as their number one, Man City as their number two. And so the pressure is not really on Arsenal. And so they are the outsiders looking into that title race. And so there's not a lot of pressure like there was at this stage last season, where Sheffield United, Gabriel Jesus, Fabio Vieira, all these guys have been out for about 3-4 months now. And so it's good that they are all coming back together. And it just adds up to what they are doing. But for me, I still think they're very difficult for them to win the league, because when I look at their fixtures, they still got very tough away games to play. They still got to go to Manchester twice, play at Old Trafford, and play at the Etihad. They haven't really won a lot of games at Old Trafford. It doesn't matter whether Man United are in good form or bad form. Arsenal don't really win or don't really fare well at Old Trafford. You look at the Etihad, they haven't won there since 2015. That's 9 years ago. So it tells you that they've got daunting tasks. Obviously, there's a small matter of the North London derby where they have to go away to Spurs as well. So you look at all these fixtures. If they're able to get through these fixtures, then I mean they are too good. They are too good for the other teams that they'll be facing. But if they can go away to these grounds and win some of these games, then they might stand a chance. But obviously, at this moment in time, their destiny is not in their hands. I mean, Liverpool and Man City are still in the driving seat.
Raymond, let me just pick up on that. Let's talk about Arsenal there. And the whole concern has been, well, can they carry this all the way? Can they go up all the way? Josh has just noted those important away games that could be, definitely deciders. There are also still some quite tricky games like the North London derby. Plus, they'll have to look after the Champions League activity. Hopefully, if they're able to go through. If they don't go through, that's a whole reserve there again. But Raymond, what do you see happening, and how disappointing would this be if, well, Arsenal can win the Premier League with all this kind of form they've got again?
Well, George, you talk about form, and I say, well, Arsenal look like they've turned the corner. You look at them at the end of the year and how they lost two crucial games. I think they lost to West Ham, they lost to Fulham as well. And everybody said, well, this is not the Arsenal team that can win a title. In the last 7 games, they've been able to score as many as 31 goals. They've conceded just 3. But George, they are the worst team. They are the worst teams in the league. And so for me, I think that this form is not a form that you would say
it's good enough, or they're being ominous. You don't think so?
We've seen us now beat the top 4 side. We've seen us now beat Liverpool. Yes, but Liverpool had their own issues that time. Jurgen Klopp had his own issues. But there's not an Arsenal team that you can say should be able to put that performance against Arsenal, or put up same performance against. And then, I think Salah has scored 15, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And then you talk about a player like Haaland, who Manchester City can get the goals for them. I still think that Arsenal would struggle a bit when they come up against teams where they are supposed to perform, teams that you'd consider big teams, or teams that you'd consider potential threats to them. I think that Arsenal struggle because of that lack of an out-and-out striker. I think they'll still struggle. So for me, Arsenal may not be able to win the league because they don't have that man who could possibly give them 20.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But you say that, before you go, George, you say that, but I don't think Arsenal as a club have said that they don't need a striker. I think they are looking at strikers.
Yeah, but they don't have that striker now then.
Yes, at this point in time, they have to make do with what they have. They can't buy anybody at this point in time. When the general transfer,
but what they have may not be enough. Then what they have may not be enough. The point that Raymond is making, Josh.
We've seen a Man City win the title with Kevin De Bruyne scoring 12 goals as their top scorer, Gundogan scoring 11 goals as their top scorer, against a Liverpool that had Mo Salah and Mane hitting double figure, 20 plus goals, and they still won the league against those teams.
But
it doesn't matter. Yes, but it doesn't matter if all the players, all these forward players I've mentioned, Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, all these players, if they are able to score.
Look at the argument that Raymond is making, is that the kind of production that the Arsenal strikers or Arsenal attackers are giving at the moment is probably equal to what the second line of Liverpool and Man City are doing in. And Julian Alvarez, don't forget, because Julian Alvarez is scoring goals, well, Bernardo Silva is scoring goals, Nunes is scoring goals, Luis Diaz scoring goals. And aside all of that help, aside of the auxiliaries, they've got the main men who will still go and look for the goals. Because look at all Liverpool have done now. When Mohamed Salah comes into the team, you will still see him producing the goals. And that's probably the balance that he was looking out for.
I don't think these guys like Diaz and Co have scored more than Martinelli and Saka. I don't think so. They are not scoring more than them.
But they are the auxiliaries. You know what I'm trying to say? They are the auxiliaries. They are supporting
exactly.
the main
And Arsenal do have auxiliaries. Leandro Trossard barely starts games for Arsenal.
No, but that's the point, Josh.
Leandro Trossard barely starts games for Arsenal. He's got 7 goals in the league already.
Yeah, but the point is that if you, because it almost feels like Arsenal's auxiliaries are the main.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Who is the main striker? Who's the main striker in Arsenal for you? Who's the main guy to go? Who's the go-to guy?
At this moment in time, it's Kai Havertz, and he's got 8 goals so far this season.
So you see, you can't put Kai Havertz versus Haaland versus Salah. No way. In terms of consistency,
obviously
that's
not.
what we are talking about.
Not.
Kai Havertz falls into the range of Kevin De Bruyne and all the likes for scoring goals.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the issue there.
Yes, I do get that, but even in as much as Erling Haaland, we all know Erling Haaland is one of the best strikers. He's probably the best striker in the world. He still got just 4 goals ahead of Saka.
No, but
he still scored 4 more than Saka. So
I get it. I get the point. I get the point. Really, Arsenal won't hold it there. Let's keep it. Let's hold it there. Arsenal clearly have to look what's going up in front and have to score some more goals, and they know they have to do that. Let's talk about Liverpool. Liverpool's an interesting one, Kofi. Obviously, yeah. Even without the main men, they have kept it going. They've won trophies. They've done stuff. They've kept it going. So with Mohamed Salah and the likes are getting ready to join the fray. And the other thing we shouldn't all forget is that Man City and Liverpool have the DNA at the moment of fighting for the title. Arsenal have to find it before they can get into that circle. So how important is this? And Kofi, we are looking on the line of Klopp trying to finish the season. People are looking at a positive send-off for him. Like, there are so many undertones right now in Liverpool. I mean, how much of that are we to expect, going forward?
I think he gave a room for bias. I thought he would have made Josh speak about Liverpool. I speak about Arsenal.
Let's keep it going this way.
But then I like Josh's compassion and enthusiasm with which he spoke. But then for those of you who are interested in your numbers, Martinelli has scored just 6 league goals this season, same as Diaz.
Well, no matter what Josh said, it's clear that the strikers are auxiliaries. That's going to change about that.
I wasn't saying that Martinelli has scored more than Diaz. I said that Diaz isn't scoring more than Martinelli. That's what I said.
No, I just said.
We've got Jota, who barely plays, who is in double figures of the league. Apart from Saka, none of the players are there. We've got Darwin Núñez, who's got like 11 league goals.
It doesn't matter.
The thing is,
let me settle it. Let me settle it this way. Kofi, before you continue, let's settle it this way. I think it's very clear that the Arsenal's auxiliaries are their main, basically. And Liverpool and Man City have mains and auxiliaries. This is just the thing, because you have go-to guys, and it's clear. And even with the numbers that you're putting out there. But I wanted you to make the Liverpool argument on why you think Liverpool can have an edge over Manchester City this time, with all that they know, and of course they have the worry of Arsenal too.
I think the only edge Liverpool have over Man City at the moment is that they are leading by a point. There's no real edge when you look at both sides. If there are any teams in England in the Premier League top flight that can have a photo finish of 12 games unbeaten, go on a run of 13 games unbeaten, it's always been Liverpool and then Man City. Even Liverpool last season, when they had their own problems, they still won the last 11 games of the season unbeaten. The thing is, both Pep Guardiola and JoyNews Club know how to end the season. They can actually go neck to neck with each other, and then they give the league that kind of display. However, you take a look at all Liverpool's problems, and from the start of the season, nobody actually, I've listened to almost all, and I've still got a lot of them on record, 90% of the pundits, none of them put Liverpool as winning the league or coming in second, because their major problem was the massive overhaul of midfield that Liverpool has brought in. It was going to take time for those guys to gel, especially with 3 of them coming from Germany. It was always going to be difficult. But then I think football has a way of making nonsense of what brief journalists or pundits say.
Are you sure that I need nonsense? Time is.
I think exactly football has a way of making nonsense of that. Because look, you're looking at someone like McAllister, Gravenberch, and Endo, who amongst them have scored more goals from midfield than Henderson, Milner, Keita, Ox in the last 3 seasons, last 2.5 seasons. It's telling you that these guys have come in and actually been an integral part of the team. Again, Mohamed Salah this season have had a luxury of playing much more as a playmaker than even that. I think there was a lot of pressure that had gone off him, where he knew if he didn't score, there was always going to be problems. Now he can take time and relax and create a lot of goals. Look at Mohamed Salah in amongst the top assist makers of the season. That's the kind of style that you see Klopp playing this season. I think that
is it enough to win Liverpool the league?
I think their destiny is in their own hands. If they win the remainder of the league, their games, they've won the league. It's equal as City. If City win the remainder of their matches, they win the league. And I've always said that the game at Anfield on Sunday, strangely, will not determine who wins the league. I've said this.
Yeah, but that's why my show. That's why my show today is not premised on that. And I'm not really interested. I'm looking at the run going in, and Man City have got some really good games to end the season. What is that looking like for Liverpool?
Really got some very good games to end the season. See, I feel like there's going to be key players in here. There are going to be sides who are going to have a huge say in who wins the league. Interestingly, all 3 of the sides fighting for the league would have to play Spurs. Both Arsenal and City have to travel to Tottenham Stadium. Spurs travel to Anfield. Now, both teams, again, all 3 of them had to, if for last week, had to play Man United. Arsenal are traveling up there. Liverpool has to play them. There's going to be some heavy deciders. When Liverpool plays City, whoever wins, the dynamics could change into whoever wins his favor. Even if it's a draw, City feel like they have the edge now. But then with Arsenal on song, with the kind of football Arsenal is playing, Arsenal would go into any grounds, not necessarily thinking about their poor record, their allegedly poor record there, but having belief in the kind of football they are playing. Look, they are, for me, I'm enjoying how they play. I don't necessarily think that they have the mental toughness to challenge City and Liverpool.
So you have made the point. You think that Liverpool are going to? It's going to be between Liverpool and Man City, because my time's almost up. It's going to be Liverpool and Man City dropping. Arsenal dropping.
I didn't say that. I still think all 3 would give their best. Of course, I expect Liverpool and City to probably finish probably in the first and second position. But then you don't want to write off Arsenal, because look, aside those games, the rest of Arsenal's games are. Look, there are games they could easily
think they're
win.
manageable. Okay, could we hold it there? Hold it there. Quick points from you, Josh. Why do you think Liverpool can do it or can do it?
I think they've also got the experience, but at the same time, when you look at it, you look at the last 5 or 6 seasons, and somebody made mention to this, and I looked at it, and it was true. Liverpool have never won the league title when they've been in a title race with Man City. The only season they won the league title, there was no title race. They were not neck and neck with Man City like this. They by the time the league had gotten to this stage of the season, we already knew Liverpool were going to wrap up the league title.
They won the league with 7 games to go.
Yeah, exactly. So they've not really won the league in a title race like this before. And so obviously for me, it's going to be difficult for both Arsenal and Liverpool, especially for Arsenal. But for Liverpool, I think that they've been there before. They've got the manager who's got the experience. They've got some players who've got the experience. And you look at the way they've been playing over the last few weeks. They've not got a full complement of their squad, but they are winning games. And so maybe if they get those players back, they could be more comfortable in going into the running. And for me, I look at their fixtures. You say Man City have got very good fixtures to end the season. I also think that Liverpool have also got very good fixtures to end the season, because I look at their fixtures. They've not really, apart from going to Old Trafford to play Man United, I think they'll be Spurs at home. Other than that, I don't really think any other team will worry Liverpool, and they'll be getting those players back. Obviously, we saw Salah come back in the Europa League game, and so I think that for Liverpool, they just have to win their games game by game, and they'll be there. They must just not lose to Man City, and then they'll have their
It's not easy to say that. Just a final point there before we wrap it up. Raymond, then what have you had a look at? And I'm sure we're definitely going to have a look at that Liverpool Man City bit with what you're looking at. Definitely we'll have to do Man City sometime. But What are the do's and don'ts for Liverpool? They have to win it.
I think that Liverpool may not be able to win the league because they do not have a bench, and two, because
if we start up
with the kind of games coming, I think that Liverpool would struggle a bit because of their involvement in every cup competition. You're playing Thursday night football. Your squad is definitely going to be stretched. You're playing in the FA Cup. You're playing in the Premier League. And that Thursday night football actually kills players. And so I don't know how Jurgen Klopp is planning on navigating that. But you look at that Liverpool bench. The first time we saw Liverpool struggle with injuries or struggle with, some players missing from their team. Endo went on international break. Mohamed Salah was injured. I think Szoboszlai was injured too. Was that game against Arsenal when they were beaten by 3-1? That Liverpool team clearly could not dig deep to get a result because they did not have a good bench. Now, the argument is that, since losing to Arsenal, they've been able to win without some of their players. But who are you playing with? You're playing against Burnley. You're playing against Brentford. You're playing against Luton Town. You're playing against Southampton, in the FA Cup, and they are playing Nottingham. George, you look at these teams. A second-team Liverpool team should be comfortable against some of these teams because they are some of the worst teams in the Premier League. Now, when you come up against a team like Manchester City, a very organized team, well-drilled team, and George, in the run-ins, when it comes to run-ins, nobody does it better than Pep Guardiola. So, Liverpool with that kind of bench, Liverpool with all the exertions from Europe and all the cup competitions, George, they do not have that depth in squad to be able to win. Absolutely.
This is a topic that will be going on and on. My time is up on this one, sadly. My time,
Kofi,
I know you're going to come and reply, but my time is up.
On this, but
Kofi, the issue is that my time is up on this one. So what I'm saying is that we will come. We will come back. This is just the beginning of the title race discussions. We will come back and have it. And I knew, Kofi won't be happy with Raymond's, go with that. But
you can't just.
It's where we are. It's okay. It's where we are at the moment. It's an argument. It's where we are at the moment. We'll see what happens on Sunday, obviously, and then we'll keep on with this one. A big thank you to you, Kofi, for joining me on the show. It's always a pleasure. It's good that we keep this set. It's really, really good. Raymond, thank you very much. Raymond, you have to pay respects to Kofi for winning the award anyway. And Josh, thank you very much for joining me as well. A big thank you to all of you for joining us on the show. We're definitely back next week with another lovely edition of the show. Till we meet next week, hopefully your teams can keep winning and stay in the title race if they are. Or if they are in a race to be 10th or 11th, you can do that as well. Let's see you next week.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Today, we are making a brighter tomorrow, built by our dreams and our energy. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future, together. EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa.
In the heart of Baltimore, where the city's pulse echoes through its streets, we dive into the life of a young radio DJ and musician breaking barriers and creating waves in the local music scene.
It's your boy DJ Razor on 1 and 2s right now. Shout out to Rappers Digest. You know, the only place to find your music videos. Right now, we rocking with just non-stop hits right now. So without further ado, let me bring this next joint right here by Brent Faiyaz.
Meet Rasha Rom, born Jerome Sheldon Jr., a rising star whose journey began in the vibrant neighborhoods of Baltimore. From the first beat, he knew that music would be his guiding force.
Okay, as far as music, as long as I can remember, I've been listening to my parents' music. They kind of gave me like a good base when it comes to like my music taste and selection. My mom is from Baltimore, Maryland. She listens to a lot of house music, club music, R&B, hip hop. My father's from Liberia, West Africa, so I was exposed to African music, and I had that kind of a background. I feel like with African music and house music, they kind of call you to dance. That became kind of the type of music that I'm into. Music that kind of creates a vibe. So from a young age, I can just always remember dancing a lot. Me and my brothers would always dance for hours and hours. So when I got to college, and I was kind of getting exposed to more people from different cultures and kind of finding commonalities with like the different people and the different music, they were kind of shocked to know the different music that I knew. So that's kind of how I started making music and DJing.
Explore the diverse and rich musical landscape of Baltimore that has shaped Rasha Rom's unique sound. Through interviews with some locals, we uncover the city's influence on his craft.
So this is like a huge industry.
Yeah.
Tell me about your kind of sounds. What inspired? First of all, what's your genre of music?
Hip hop, rap music.
Got my locations, black design in my closet is racist. Competition, you thought we was racing. Where I'm from, if you make it, you take it. Why the f is you hating? Took a trip out to Vegas. They gon' think that we play for the Raiders. AMG and it look like a spaceship. Off the couch and that she wanna taste it, so I let her taste it. Just to be clear, I ain't him or him or him or him. Bitch, I ain't one of them. Just like a remix, we spin. You spin, we spinning again.
Okay.
Like melodic rap, you know, kind of songs that you rap and kind of sing along to. So, you know, with different flows. I changed my cadence a lot with my music. And I kind of got introduced to that just listening to the old school rap music, kind of noticing the rappers now. I looked up to like Lil Wayne, Meek Mill. Those are kind of like my major artists that I paid attention to, but I didn't really mimic their style. I kind of brought my own to it, but as far as like rap, that's what I consider like good music. So from there, I kind of did my own thing when it came to making music.
Rasha Rom challenges norms, blending genres, and pushing boundaries. We hear his tracks that reflect the electric mix of Baltimore's culture, from jazz-filled corners to the beats of the streets.
You know, from an African descent and, you know, doing music or pursuing music here in the United States, I should think that you have some sort of, you know, inspirations coming from somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
So like that's why I kind of brought in the melodic part, because I feel like African music, a lot of times you just have no choice. I'm working on new music this year. It's gonna be more so a different side of what I've already put out. I'm still trying to create a sound, or, you know, push a sound that I feel like is thriving right now. And that's with like African descent, I'm a piano, house music, trying to blend those two together. And I feel like that's kind of like a good sweet spot to start right there, because it's definitely like who I am. So I think people are gonna like it when they hear it, when it comes all together. Yeah.
Okay. So out of all your 2015 songs, do you have a favorite in there?
Yeah, I would say my favorite will probably be Tapped In. There's a song, Tapped In.
I'm tapped in, count money off the back end. Spend a lot, but I make more, so I'm stacking. She acting like she back then. Now she using nigga songs for a caption. I'm heating up, baby, I ain't in my prime yet. Hottest out and I want all the smoke behind that. You ain't no hitter, boy, you afraid of contact. You can still a watch, but you can't never get your time. I love the underdogs on top. I'ma be a real nigga to a nigga hard style. Bitches making up stories cause hoes love to apply. I did it to my life.
Tell me about Tapped In.
So that song, it was kind of like in the beginning stages of me starting to make music, because I would go with a friend, my friend Wavy Reg, he's an artist. I would just go with him to make music. Throughout the time there, they would kind of hear me freestyling and making stuff, but I always could, I just never recorded it. Tapped In was a song that I said, okay, I'm gonna try to pursue a music career and actually record, take it serious. And when I first played it for people, they didn't recognize how I sounded because it had like a melody to it. I was kind of singing and things like that. So that's kind of like one of the songs that when I hear, I dance to it, but I still remember like recording and how that process was.
So in what ways do you think that your music resonates with the people here in the U.S., specifically Baltimore?
Specifically Baltimore. I think Baltimore as a city is like they really like a dancing. Like we like to dance. Okay. A lot of times the beat will catch your attention, but the words will keep you. So I like to throw different phrases in my music, metaphors, stuff like that. But with the beats that I selected with that in mind. That if I heard just this beat, would I dance, would I get up? So that's kind of like where it resonates. Like we do this dance it's called the Park High Strut, and that's kind of like you can do that to a lot of the songs that I make. It's one of the common dances we have. So.
Come along as he takes us behind the scenes of his radio show. Discover how Rasha Roms curates the perfect playlist and connects with the community through the airwaves.
It's your boy DJ Rasha Roman on 1 and 2s right now. Shout out to Rappers Digest, the only place to find your music videos. Right now, we rocking with just non-stop hits right now, so without further ado, let me bring this next joint right here by Brent Fayez. Let's get it.
E-Vibes witness Jerome's commitment to uplifting the community, from performing at local events to mentoring aspiring artists. With his show, Rappers Digest, he becomes a catalyst for positive change.
You're from Liberia.
Yes.
We have a lot of music genres coming out from Liberia. I'm from Ghana. We have a lot of music genres coming out from Ghana. There's Nigeria somewhere in the Côte d'Ivoire, and all of that. On a larger scale, we're all looking at Africans, crossing the borders with their music, with their sounds. Do you have any plans of adapting any sort of sounds that could resonate with the people back home in Africa?
Yeah, so I have some unreleased music, stuff that I've been working on towards the end of the year.
Right.
That have some amapiano sound to it. The bass and the percussion to the songs are similar to the stuff that's hot now, especially in Africa. Africa, I feel like as a sound has always been something you just can't help but dance to, and I noticed that early on, so I just think that now that it's getting more shine in the States, they're kind of late to the party. It's always been that way, with African music. So I'm kind of putting a stamp on it in a way that it can kind of go both ways as far as being successful here and being successful there.
That makes good sense. So, you speak well. It looks like you know a lot about music and African music, African music and foreign music here that you listen to, that other people listen to. So my point is, you've listened to all these, comparing these, two continents. What do you make of music in Africa?
I make of music,
which is having you wanting to go back there,
right? Yeah.
And sort of network with all these people, beautiful people back home.
I make it so that I feel like African music as a whole is just feel-good music. A lot of times people think about, when they think of African music, they think of like vacation. They think of feeling good in a good time space. I definitely want to get to Africa. I haven't been there yet formally, but I plan to go definitely this year. But that'll be like a nice like homecoming for me, being as though my father's from Liberia, and I got so many people that I know that are from Nigeria, Ghana, that kind of exposed me to music there that just kind of sparked my interest. So I just think of African music as like feel-good music, just music that even if you don't know the complete track, you just feel good hearing it. It keeps you up spirit.
You have names?
Yeah, I got a couple. I know first I was listening to Davido before, early on.
Yeah.
Burna Boy's hot now. I got put onto Stone Boy actually towards the end of the year. I was hearing about him on tour, the fifth dimension. Yeah, the Fifth Dimension tour.
Yeah.
And I kind of picked up on him there because I was surprised. I didn't know about him and he was so big. So I was just like, wow, he's so talented. And listening to his last album, so that kind of told me okay, they got artists all over Africa doing big things. Ghana is definitely one of the places I want to go to when I make my way over there.
Oh, you're welcome to Ghana.
As long as I got your welcome.
Oh, of course, you're welcome. Well, Davido, you've got Burna Boy in there, you've got Stone Boy. Mm-hmm. Do you know any, of the artists back home in Liberia that you?
I believe 112.
112.
Yeah, 112. Yeah, they're it's older though. It's older, but some of that music I listen to, of course, with my dad. Taking trips back and forth from Baltimore to where he lives now in Georgia, and listening to artists like that kind of sits well with me because I'm from Liberia, so I come from there. So being able to have artists that are doing it big there too.
Every journey has its ups and downs, but for Rasha Rom, the challenges in a competitive music industry strengthens him.
How is your life as a DJ here? I want to understand DJs.
Yeah.
Back home,
yeah.
The industry of DJs were growing with Mekwe leading the. He's called Mekwe. He's leading the baton. Mm-hmm. Trying to promote all these DJs, making sure that DJs are heard, are celebrated, and are respected throughout the country.
Right.
How is the life of a DJ like?
So the life of a DJ here, I think they're respected more, as far as by the fans. The artists sometimes think they can do it on their own, and a lot of times you can. But I think DJs help push your music when you're not doing it. When you're away, maybe in the studio, there's a DJ that could be playing your song in the club for other people who are at a venue. I think as a whole, though, DJs do hold a lot of weight, especially in Baltimore. When it comes to events, when they know, Ratchet Rome's going to be at this spot, they're more inclined to come. If they know or they're familiar with that DJ's name. If you're like a powerhouse name as a DJ here, I think people come out. They may not even know what you're going to play, but they know, they respect your opinion on music. They expect your placement of what songs to play, and I think that is how it carries here. It's respected. As far as the listeners, I think the listeners definitely respect it.
And what do you make of yourself, your life as a DJ?
I would say,
how's it going?
It's going good, actually. It's just really busy, being here and here and different places. I DJ throughout the week. I have some residencies. I have a bar, Rose's Bar and Grill. I DJ twice a week in Baltimore, Maryland, downtown Light Street area. I DJ on the radio. So the different things I'm into now as far as DJing keep me busy, but it's something I got a passion for, so it doesn't really feel like work,
So you spoke a lot about, infiltrating the African market,
right?
Networking, collaborating with, all these beautiful artists back home, Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire. We're not leaving any African country out. Don't you foresee any challenges? Have you thought about, the whole process? If you have, how do you intend to solve all those problems?
I think the challenge may be just accepting, that the overall goal. Some people may think that you're out for personal gain, I'm just trying to be big. But at the end of the day, if I'm trying to help push a country's sound or bridge the gap between both, and people realize that, I think it becomes easy. Just networking in general, people being aware of, okay, he's trying to push, you know, African music here, or me in America, oh, he's trying to expose us to more sounds. I think the closed-minded people may make it an issue. You know, people that are just, oh, no, I just only want to hear this, or oh, I'm big here in Africa, I just want to stay here. Those closed-minded people may make it an issue, but overall, if people just enjoy good music and they respect your opinion on music, I think it'll be successful, and that's the plan right now. That's the plan. So.
Where do you place dancing in all these that we're talking about? Because I mean, I know that. So you're DJ, you're a musician, rapper, and then a dancer.
Right.
Woke up, got straight to it. Running to the back like I'm late to it. Got so much drive.
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of mix the two, honestly. Well, I mix like 2 or 3 at a time. So while I'm DJing, I'm one of the DJs that I play a song, but I step away from the booth and dance with people there. I'm definitely known for that. So with my music, when I do music videos, I'm dancing in my music videos and things like that. But as far as doing more work where I'm doing choreography, stuff like that, I kind of channel it through my fraternity. I was able to perform halftime for the Lakers last year around this time. And so like we were at halftime, I performed there for, you know, the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors, the 2 basketball teams in California. We performed there, so I kind of like continue to do things like that to keep me in that loop, keep me active.
As we conclude, we look towards the future. What's next for Rasha Rom? What new works will he bring to the city that continues to inspire his art?
My music collaboration, basically taking advantage of the fact that people here, I'm familiar with what people here listen to. I'm in places where people listen to different music and kind of exposing them to there, and then also taking advantage of the fact that there's people in Africa doing big things, and knowing, okay, now this is good music. This just got to get heard by the right person, and knowing kind of like what both sides like, you know, and just being a bridge between, you know, Africa and the States, like United States.
And in your own capacity as a radio DJ who you're hands-on on music that comes in and out every day, do you think that the people out here appreciates African music? And how do you also, in your own capacity, intend to bring them out here and, you know, make sure that African music or African artists are heard here in America?
Yeah, so the radio.
Are you doing that already?
Yeah, I'm already doing that in my own capacity.
That's why we're having this conversation. I heard that you're putting people on. I know that so you speak so well of Stoneboy.
Yeah, Stoneboy.
Yeah, Sarkodie was also.
we were speaking about,
Yeah, and so it made me got really interested in, you know, what you're doing out here, trying to put African artists on big radio station as, you know, the one that you work for.
Yeah, so with 92Q Jams, I'm a mixer there. So just being a part of that radio station is like the major radio station in Baltimore and the surrounding areas. They do a good job of reaching out to the DJs that mix on the show and ask us like for our opinions. Like, okay, what songs are we're not aware of, or, you know, what songs should we you know, make sure we're playing, and just having that background knowledge of, hey, there's an artist named Stoneboy Sarkodie they're doing big things.
Yeah.
We just got to, you know, get it on a platform where people can hear it and be exposed to it. So I do think we appreciate music here. They just don't know all of, you know, the music that's going on. They're kind of like stuck here and don't think really outside until it gets exposed to everybody. But I think the music will be appreciated once it's arrived here, and that's what I plan on keep on, you know, continuing to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. So how do we get it out here? Because we know we're doing everything. I'm sure that all the artists are out there. They're doing everything, considering the fact that we have streaming all platforms. There's YouTube there. There's, you know, there's iTunes and all of that. We put our music, you know, on all these platforms. They put in the work.
Right.
But it looks like we are still lacking behind, you know, when it comes to African music.
Yeah, I think it's just the exposure, because just because I haven't heard the song yet doesn't mean it's not a great song. I think people just have to be exposed to the music here. And it's probably, to me, I think it's just about placement. If you hear it on the radio, you hear it while you walk into the store, you hear it in the car passing you by, you hear it in the club or the party, that kind of gives you exposure to the song, and then you look further and you may discover the artist, you know, just simple from one song. So I always think someone's one song away from becoming your biggest fan. If I heard Stonebwoy for the first time, but before that he was already making great music.
Right.
When I heard him for the first time and wanted to learn more about his music, I became a fan. It just takes one time to hear a song, and then you kind of latch on to an artist. So I think that's the step, just the placement. And with the platform of 92Q, the radio station, I'm playing it on the airways, with the platform of Rappers Digest, which is a platform that looks out for new artists all over the country. Those placements can help bridge the gap and kind of get people exposed to that.
So what would be your life hack to, you know, the wonderful people that are watching us? I will tell you something that Denzel said that has resonated with me for a very long time. He says that ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Meaning you have to keep going, even though you're not being paid well, even though you're not being recognized enough, even though you're just you just feel like you're undervalued, and all the quote unquote nasty things that you might be thinking, or terrible things that you'll be thinking, that it's not working for you. You just have to keep going, because at the end of the day, progress will come. It might not take today, but you know, will take tomorrow. Do you have any life hack that we can probably
some life hacks? Yeah, so
live with for the rest of our lives? Said by DJ Rashid Ball.
I would say just what has been working for me is just staying true to what I decide is my path. When I get consistent on something I really want, not settling for a no, not settling for, oh, it didn't work this time. Just using that as an opportunity to reevaluate and think of another way to still get that same outcome. I think being true to myself and being consistent with that, I'm going to always end up in the right path. It may not be the path that I thought of it was going to be, but I'm just not settling for a no, not settling for, oh, it didn't work this time. It's good to celebrate wins and celebrate accomplishments, but just not being complacent. Kind of like the Denzel thing, but just not being complacent on, all right, I made it here, I'm good. No, you got to keep going. It's good to celebrate it though, because sometimes people don't celebrate their wins, and that's how they get to a point where they feel like they got somewhere and they didn't really get anywhere because you didn't celebrate that journey. So it's good to celebrate, you know, your wins and your accomplishments, but not just get comfortable in that win. Just keep going forward, knowing your path isn't just an end. It's going to keep going. Your path is going to keep going forward, and that's just how I've been successful, or how I've been working things out for myself. That's been working for me. So that's my advice to you all. Just stay consistent.
Stay consistent. Well, I guess we're also staying consistent here on JoyNews, Joy Prime, all the channels, beautiful channels that we have in multimedia group. Thank you so much. I have learned a lot from this, acquired a lot of knowledge, and thank you for the opportunity to, you know, have this conversation with you, just so you know, we could understand and get to know more about music here. And thank you for the fact that you have it in mind to, you know, bridge that gap, bring the African music or African sounds here to the US and beyond. It's not, you know, stay just here, but we're looking at beyond. And also, you know, the life hack that you just gave us, consistency. E-Vibes has been very consistent for 3 solid years, and we're happy to have you on board. And we're also looking forward to you visiting Ghana with all the beautiful places that we have in Ghana, all the beautiful music that we have. We have DJs as well that you can meet back home in Ghana, and so we're grateful.
I can't wait. I'm thankful for you all for having me. Joy News, E-Vibes. Definitely appreciative of the platform. I love what you all have been doing, and just taking the time to learn about me and my story. Definitely appreciative of that. So thank you too.
All right.
This is a testament to the power of music, community.
The other major project that is coming on stream, which is bound to make a dramatic change to the economy, is the Ada Songo Salt Project, being spearheaded by Electrochem Salt Mine Limited, led by the dynamic Ghanaian entrepreneur, Mr. Dan McCaughey, aka McDan. After many years of disputes, which prevented the exploitation of salt at the site, work has finally started, and salt will be mined on a large commercial scale. With its initial ability to produce some 650,000 metric tons of salt per annum, and expanding its productive capacity to 1 million metric tons this year, and to 2 million metric tons by 2027, at 99.9% purity, the Electrical Salt Mine will be the biggest salt-producing facility in the whole of Africa.
And the unwavering spirit of a young DJ and musician making waves in the soulful streets of Baltimore.
JoyNews Prime Headlines is brought to you by...
Don't take risks. Use a condom every time.
And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
Some spices, yes, sir.
Hello and welcome to JoyNews Prime, live from our studio here in Kokomlemle, Accra. We're live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. Also around the world on myjoyonline.com. Coming up, Attorney General incurs wrath of sponsors of anti-gay bill on the minority side of Parliament after he accused them of pushing the bill to score political points as he questions their motive.
And so would be my expectation. But of course, I mean, that's entirely within the booth of the president and leadership of Parliament, including the Speaker, to, as it were, engage and try and resolve this matter so that if there's a need for Parliament to be recalled, which I would expect should be the case.
And as the rift between the executive and the legislature deepens, the parliamentary affairs analyst is calling for consensus building on the matter. Now, also in this bulletin, houses have been touched by irate youth in a renewed chieftaincy dispute in Bole in the Savannah region. We'll take you to the ground for an update on the situation. And on the strike by teacher union, some final year junior high school pupils in the Ashanti region are calling on the government to ensure their teachers return to the classroom to avert any negative impact on academic activities.
Strike in Yanka. Yeah, the two Ghana and Penny Fenim says slow moala.
the HS4 ni here no mo nyama because strike no mo kono and no say nya effects for yeso.
At 8 p.m., I hand over to Emma Davis to bring you Prime Business.
Bank of Ghana cautions Ghanaians against rejecting the 1 Peswa coin and 5 Peswa coin.
Any currency or denomination that the central bank has issued is a legal tender. And currently, the 1 Peswa up to the 200 Ghana cedis are all legal tender.
And later at 8:30, latest from the world of sports with Razak Musbao.
Well, Joseph Paul Amwa lead the pack as Ghana racks up 7 more medals in the ongoing African Games.
We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Thanks for choosing us. Please stay.
JoyNews Prime Headlines was brought to you by...
Don't take risks. Use a condom every time.
And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria 1 time.
Some spices, yes, sir.
Now, Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Dame has incurred the wrath of sponsors of the anti-gay bill on a minority side in Parliament as he tore into them, accusing them of engaging in partisan politics on such a sensitive issue. He's also questioning the push for President Akufo-Addo to assent to the Human Sexual Right and Family Values Bill passed by Parliament in February. Now, Parliament is in a standoff with the presidency over the anti-LGBTQI plus bill, following the president's decision to wait on the Supreme Court to arrive at a decision on a suit filed against it. We'll hear from the AG shortly, but first, let's bring you the advice he gave when the bill was in consideration in Parliament. Now, he said the bill is a private member's bill subject to Article 108 of the Constitution and should not have any financial implications on government. However, this bill is indicative of financial implications. He continued by saying, as part of his advice, that this is a private member's bill. He moved on from there and spoke about several other things as to what should be done in terms of, suggesting some amendment. Now, he says aspects of the bill in its current form may violate some fundamental right and freedom enshrined in the Constitution, including the right to freedom of expression, thought, and conscience, and freedom from discrimination. Now, some provisions of the bill repeat the following existing legislations. He says, he quoted Marriages Act 1884, 1885, Cap 127, Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960, Act 30, and the Children's Act 1998. Now, he says the bill seeks to state a broader prohibition on unnatural carnal knowledge, criminalization of sexual intercourse between persons of the same sex. This does not appear to be inconsistent with the Constitution. So this is one of the advices that he gave. Now, he went on to say that the restrictions on the dissemination of certain kinds of information directed at children are not inconsistent with the Constitution. Now, he again says the prohibition on adoption, fosterage, and marriage between persons of the same sex placed by clauses 17 and 18 of the bill are not inconsistent with the Constitution. So it means that they are inconsistent with the bill. Now, he again says possible implementation of challenges are likely to be faced after the bill is passed. So he gave that warning that possible implementation challenges are likely to be faced after the bill is passed. Some provisions, when implemented, will violate some fundamental human rights and freedoms, particularly the right to privacy. So that was the Attorney General then. Now, speaking in an interview with Joy FM, Attorney General Godfrey Dame challenged the intent behind the push for the bill.
What is the point in actually transmitting a bill whose validity, constitutional validity, has been challenged in the Supreme Court of Ghana? And I would say that on all fronts, on all accord. What is the point in actually transmitting a bill whose validity, constitutional validity, has been challenged in the Supreme Court of Ghana? And I will say that on all fronts, on all accord, indeed, every aspect of this process is political. Every aspect of this bill is politically motivated. Otherwise, there's really no urgency. I remember mooting the contract amendment bill by which public officers are prohibited from charging compound interest as a rate of interest in contract. That's a very important bill, a bill that has to do with the public protection of the public purse, where it actually has a tendency to save the state billions of cedis in judgment debt. The bill was passed by Parliament in July 2023. It was only brought to the President for his assent about 3 weeks ago. The President assented to it only about 2 weeks ago. So clearly, it tells you that every step that is being taken in this matter is politically motivated, and I find it so much in bad faith.
Well, one of the co-sponsors of the bill, Emmanuel Kwesi Bejra, is disputing the Attorney General's assertion. He spoke on Top Story a while ago.
Well, good evening, and thank you so much for reaching out to me. I will say categorically that there's no politicking in pushing for this bill. You are aware that we are 8 sponsors of the bill, and one of our sponsors comes from our friends from the majority side. That's the Reverend Intin Forjo, who is from the NPP side. And so if there is anything to go by, since we have our colleagues from the other side supporting him. Having said that, you have some of our colleagues from the other side who got amendment. The former majority leader, Honorable Chieftaincy Samboso, supported the bill to the letter. His amendments were all carried out. The Honorable former Minister for Science and Technology, who also supported it and gave us some explanation, Dr. Friye, giving us some explanation with medical understanding. And so clearly there was no political push for this bill. And so I don't have one. I don't believe any of my colleagues who sponsored this bill have one, any political connection to this bill. I don't know where he's taking it from. I don't believe that any of us are engaging in politicking of this. If he thinks that any of us are engaging in politicking with this bill, then he should come out to name the person. I believe he mentioned Sam George in particular. Sam George is not the only sponsor. We are 8 sponsors.
Now, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, one of the religious groupings that have been vociferous on these issues since the calls for the passage of such bill started, have expressed disappointment over the President's refusal to sign the bill into law. Very Reverend Clement Kwesi Ajayi is the Secretary General of the conference.
It is a bit unfortunate. You see that this is coming up. For me, it's like our democracy is young. We are growing. These things may come up. What they need to do is to sit down behind the scenes and talk, because it affects both of them. Like the legislature has this role to play, the executive has this role to play, and the judicial. I mean, the checks and balances are okay. They are good for us. Once in a while, they may have this kind of problems and so on. But for me, it's a young democracy, and we are growing. But it's unfortunate. For me, the bill should have been transmitted to the presidency. And there are rules. I mean, Article 106 makes it clear. If you look at it, you know, you have a problem. I've heard what the Attorney General said, giving reason and so on. These are the reasons the president could have given and sort of back to Parliament without memorandum for them to look at them. They didn't do that. And now you're coming to give us reasons. The Constitution doesn't say Attorney General should give us reasons. The President should write a memorandum with all the reasons for the Parliament, for the legislature to consider. That wasn't done. Wasn't done. And you are saying because there was an injunction, there was no injunction on you. It was rather on Parliament not to transmit. So it has nothing to do with it.
Whether the parliament will transmit or not, it has nothing to do with you, the presidency.
Now, remember that this standoff between the presidency and parliament due to the president's refusal to assent to the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill due to an interlocutory injunction at the Supreme Court has resulted in the suspension of the confirmation of the president's new minister-designate. One of the affected ministers, lawyer Andre Japamesa, who is the minister-designate for tourism, arts and culture, says they expect the issues to be resolved soon.
I believe that we due to come back sometime in May and spending the whole of the rest of the month in April just so this matter can be dealt with, I think would be a stretch. And so would be my expectation. But of course, I mean, that's entirely within the bosom of the president and leadership of parliament, including the speaker, to, as it were, engage and try and resolve this matter so that if there's a need for parliament to be recalled, which I would expect should be the case, then we can go back and deal with this matter, especially when the report of the appointments committee was to approve at least the first 9 that I've seen by consensus. So really, it shouldn't be something that should take a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Away from that, some final year junior high school pupils in the Ashanti region have called on the government to ensure their teachers return to the classroom to avert any negative impact on academic activities. Most schools were compelled to close early as the teachers carried through their indefinite strike over delay in addressing their conditions of service. Now, some final year pupils who spoke to JoyNews say preparation for their upcoming examination will be affected if their teachers remain on strike.
Yeah, we are going to write our BC, so it will affect us small. So we want to. They told us for 1 week, but I don't know if it's for 1 week or not. So they didn't teach us today. They are walking around. Some of them have left the school, so they are going home.
Enim se be suadia na se ye suadia. Ye ba ye headmaster pen e betu no school. Teacher ni bia ni school no hanu se. Ye ba ye busa om ko strike. Pacho ye ni mu ade krunti ko strike. So ye say ye hwe om anim se bia wo kire om be ba na so om ma.
We should be studying by now for our exams on Monday, but the teachers are on strike. Government should listen to their concerns.
Maybe I say school my basa. I basa near master na a gada and say HS for the course strike by all my own coffee. HS in tea. Yamla class na oba be try ade sana e master kan strike ni den ka ye de to Ghana mpanyifo nim se esle omo ala the HS for ni hia no mo nyam because strike no mo kono eno se nya effect wo ye so next 2 weeks e be try exams inti se omo amba school no ma me try ade a e bia topic na ye do so na exams e be ba ma ye nim so sen komo ba no mo be try ade nti ye se Ghana mpanyifo se omo mo HS for no mo ti me try ade enu de nya ye mbroaye o emo ye dusua ne kwa omo se ekofia iche ni bia nkan we betime asua de bai ye hi omo ideas omo de ne do so sen ye de no nti na betime abo nti se omo se ombeba school abe try ade
pasho se ya ncha ya de efri ne kona a time ne so a ebema addition ebe boboye so ama yentimi nsuane ye pasho ebedu onom no yebeka se question we kosua nti ebema yentimi nsuane na we
it will affect us because we are getting soon to write our BFE and we didn't come and teach us. It will affect us.
Well, the National Service Personnel Association is demanding the payment of a 2 months outstanding allowances owed members serving in the public sector. They lament the delay in disbursement of the allowances has become a norm, causing untold hardship on graduates who depend on the stipend for their survival. The association is demanding the immediate payment to avert an industrial action. Nana Boachi Yadom has more.
The national service personnel in the public sector say they are struggling to meet basic needs as payments for their monthly allowances have delayed. These allowances sometimes delay for several months before they are paid to fresh graduates undertaking the one-year mandatory service. Some personnel under the 2023-2024 batch say they have not received their allowances since January 2024. Prince Buedu is worried about the delayed payment of allowances.
Currently, we are yet to receive payment from January, February, and March. We are yet to be done with March, so let me say January and February. It's not that good. Definitely, we need money to support ourselves in our, let me say, our day-to-day activities, transportation costs, and all this. You know, as graduates, definitely our parents will want to leave us to fend for ourselves, and we will tend to rely so much on these allowances. So if they are not there, definitely it affects our livelihoods, our day-to-day activities, as we use money as a commodity to doing all these activities. I am pleading to the government that they should be up and doing. They should up their game so that they will pay our allowances on time. They should pay our allowances on time.
Secretary of the National Service Personnel Association, Nana Edujemfi-Mensah, says the delayed payment of allowances has become a worry to members.
With the concerns of our allowance, before this week, we had about 4 months unpaid allowances, but then from the beginning of this week, they have made payments for 2 months. And so now we are being owed 2 months allowances, which we feel that working for 4 months with no allowance is not something that we wish that it would happen again, in as much as it has already. And so we are telling the scheme and the government that this is unacceptable. Working for 4 months with no allowances is not something we can take. But then we also commend them for making the payment for the 2 months. So we are looking at what the future holds for the rest of the 2 months unpaid allowances.
Nana Jemfi says the association is on the negotiation table with government, but failure to comply with the agreement will warrant a strike.
And so yes, we are still on negotiation table with management and the board of the scheme and all that, although the conversations has not really been positive, but then we are entreating all our people to stand by us. We know everything that they are going through. It is not as if we've turned a deaf ear to all that is happening. We are very much aware because we are all the national leaders, we are all service personnel ourselves. And so we feel every pain that they go through. And in the coming days, after probably our last but one meeting with the management and hopefully the board, we will announce our next action. That is, a lot of us are calling for a strike and subsequently a demonstration.
For JoyNews, Nana Bochidankwe Yadom, Kumasi.
Well, the lack of a hostel facility for the War Nursing Training College is impacting negatively on the academic performance of students of the college. Now, the students rely on a private hostel located over 3 kilometers away from the college campus, and as a result, one has to walk daily on foot to the college. They often get to lectures tired, sweating profusely, and are unable to concentrate during lectures. Principal of the Ward Nursing Training College, Christine Bobori, bemoaned the lack of adequate infrastructure at the college, which is pegging back academic work at the college. And JoyNews' Upper West Regional Correspondent, Traffic Salam, reports from Wa.
For the umpteenth time, the issue of inadequate infrastructure at the One Nation Training College found space at the matriculation speech of the principal of the college, Christine Bobori. The college, who started on borrowed premises of the former One Municipal Ghana Education Service Office and the One Municipal Hospital Canteen, has still not overcome its developmental challenges close to 2 decades after its establishment. Vice Principal of the college, Calvin Nolobong, reading the speech on her behalf, enumerated the challenges faced by the college to come to their aid.
So the first one is lack of library space. The library cannot accommodate half of any class. Number 2, the college still lack hostel facilities and have to rely on private hostel and homes. And others have to travel in from Wa every day, both the staff and students, to have academic activity go on. Number 3, lack of staff accommodation. Number 4, the need for a strong school bus. The need of a strong school bus. We can't train nurses without sending them to the clinical site and supervising them.
Most pressing among the needs of the college is the lack of a hostel facility. More than 90% of the close to 700 student population lives at either Perhi or Chegali and are without any form of transport except relying on their foot to take them there. They make the 8-kilometer journey on foot daily to the college and back to their private hostels. They get to the lecture room not only tired but sweating profusely and unable to concentrate during lectures. 2 students of the college, Mohammed Fatih and Simon Dakuradare, explain further.
First of all, we always exhaust ourselves. Tiredness is one of them. Then secondly, insecurity. Mostly waking up early in the morning and coming to school, of which they said we should always come early to school, which is insecurity that is hampering us. And then also the other challenges is what? Lack of energy to learn. We lack energy to learn when we work from our various institutions, 3 kilometers to the campus to also learn.
When we come to school, you see some of us sleeping early in the morning due to the kilometers we have to walk through before we get to the station. And one of the effects is that by closing from this school around 5 o'clock and walking back, you become so tired that in the evening you barely have time to visit your books or to do recap on what you were being taught in class, and that affects our studies the most.
Mohammed Fatih recounted incidents of robbery visited on some students whilst returning from an entertainment session in the night.
We are not secured, especially we ladies. I remember back our Form 1 days time, we came and we level 100, yes. We came and one entertainment. When we came for entertainment, going back, some people were robbed and their phones were taken away. So the insecurity, there is no security. Our security is very low.
They are appealing to the government, corporate organizations, and benevolent individuals to come to their aid.
I plead with the government of Ghana, Nanado, in his power that he should come to our aid. Dormitories, we don't have some here. It's only private dormitories you will see around, and they are costly, and they cannot even accommodate all of us. We don't have dining halls. We don't have even our classrooms are congested, especially our year ones. They have to be divided into 2.
Apa Wasujan, Director of Health Services, Dr. Damien Poiri, expressed worry over the caliber of nurses that are being churned out lately, urging the matriculants to up the ante. The One Nation Training College last year repeated and sacked about 70 students for poor academic performance. Dr. Damien Poiri warned that students who are found to be academically insufficient will be shown the exit door.
I want you to come out fully bred because you are going to be handling life, human life, including your own. So if you are half-baked, you are a danger not only to the public, but to yourself. And to promise you that we are not going to intervene if you are found to be insufficient in academic qualification and you are being asked to go home.
Chairperson of the One Nation Training College Advisory Board, Haji Fusata Hamidu, admonished the students to eschew all forms of social vices, warning that they will not countenance any form of acts which goes contrary against the college's rules and regulations.
We have to eschew all social vices in the school or in the environment we find ourselves these days, or communities. And this includes illicit drug abuse, prostitution, homosexuality, stealing, and what have you, which we know are in the ascendancy in the country and our community as a whole.
The One Nation Training College received a total application of 850. Out of this number, 329 were admitted to pursue the Registered General Nursing and the Nurse Assistant Clinicals programs. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Now, the people of Adamrobe in the eastern region for decades have been neglected by successive government. But the residents believe their woes have been deepened by the tag their community for the deaf. The community say they are praying God to survive because they lack critical infrastructure such as road, clinics, and potable drinking water. JoyNews' Adobe Asari was there and has filed this report.
Residents of Adamrobe are lamenting the state of the main road in the town. The road, which serves as a link between Oyibi and Ebri, is in a deplorable state. The ward residents say their decision to vote will be based on whether or not their road network is fixed.
Our major challenge with our town is our main road which connects Oyibi to Ebri. The government have been promising to construct it for years, yet to no avail. John Mahama started, but there's been no progress since he left power. If someone wants to help us, they should first consider constructing our road. This road is a major road which connects two big towns and can serve as a good shortcut for travelers who move from Tema to Koforidua.
Kwame is a driver and a station master here. He laments how the poor road network is affecting him and other drivers in the town.
I'm Adamrobe GPRTU station master. Na problem I ever ewo ekwan ho asem wa de bebre yem kwan no ya kan kwan ne nye.
I'm the GPRTU station master for this town. We have spoken severally about the poor condition of our road. Certain people who had to be rushed to the hospital for immediate health care lost their lives due to the poor state of the road. The state of the road even affects us drivers, and we spend lots of money fixing problems the road causes our vehicles. We plead with the responsible bodies to help fix our roads.
Every day be a shop. Every day be a shop. You see, so I was so kind of unto ade. DSR, there be a high empire. There be a high empire. TTM problem can say power. I don't know. TSR say, who be mine.
Some residents also shared their frustration due to the poor road condition.
Matina Krum have for 10 years.
I've lived in this town for quite some time, and I can say that the major problem we have here is our road. The dust from the road is just too much for us. We are also electors who vote.
The
people of Adamrobe want the government to give them a fair share of developmental projects by constructing their road.
This is still JoyNews Prime. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Please stay.
Hey, Charlie, what number? The malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and your fufu. But I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing Artemether and Lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for effective treatment of malaria.
Great to have you back. Thank you. No problem.
Malatu is suitable for adults and children. Manufactured and distributed by NS Chemist Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
This is a call to you. The dreamers. The ones that see no boundaries.
Dreamers take a chance.
The explorers that chart their own path.
Along the vibes, connect the energy.
The ones that dare to challenge the status quo.
Get connected, feel the
When others try to think outside the box, you wonder, what box?
Catch the wave, enjoy the ride.
To the architects of their journeys. Every connection is an opportunity to explore every experience. This is your call to adventure. Your journey begins here. Be bold, be daring, be free. Connecting passions, connecting dreams, connecting ambitions. Telecel, connecting energies.
Welcome back from the break. Now, 1 out of every 3 women have experienced some form of domestic violence in their lifetime. This is according to data from the Ghana Statistical Service. The Executive Director of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, Mamiya Tiwa Adudankwa, has encouraged victims of abuse, especially women, to seek assistance and report incidents of their attackers. Now, speaking at the ARC at 25 public event, the EOCO boss emphasized the need to break the silence on abuse and seeking for help. No one should suffer in silence.
Face challenges. Don't throw your hands in despair. Find a way around it. And I can tell you, there are a lot of people who are willing to help.
The ACT Foundation, a non-profit organization, has for the past 25 years been dedicated to providing compassionate care for vulnerable individuals. To mark its jubilee, the foundation brought women leaders from various fields together for a conversation on the theme Women Speak Leadership, the Power of One. It served as a platform for prominent women in Ghana to share their experiences and insights, inspiring others to navigate the complexities of male-dominated industries with resilience and determination. They also shared experiences and addressed the struggles of managing both work and personal life. Drawing from her own experience in a male-dominated field, she encouraged women to pursue their passion with confidence and determination, defying societal expectations and stereotypes.
Whether you're a man or you're a woman, whatever that you are going through, whether challenges and other things, there are a good number of people who are prepared to help you. So if you are in a relationship, abusive relationship, you need to report to the police or you need to report to somebody. Sometimes you are afraid, you fear. You shouldn't keep some of these things to yourself, and that there's help somewhere else. Leadership is leadership, whether you are a man or you are a woman. The challenges are the same and the concept is the same. Just that women have our own challenges. For instance, you are a mother, you are a wife, you have to do other things. Having said that, most of the things that we have to go through and you need help, ask for help. And that if you are given opportunity as a woman, you need to work hard, you need to prove yourself, you need to think about excellence, you need to think about care for others, you need to think about humility, accountability, transparency. And these are the values that will drive the organization that you lead. I want to encourage women that when you have other women working around you, hold their hand, build them up. Sometimes they are afraid. Some of them don't even know the potential that they have. It is up to you as a leader to encourage them, identify certain potentials in them, and then help them to nurture and build upon those potentials. If you're in a male-dominated institution like mine, it still doesn't matter. You still have to work hard like anything, and you don't have to be afraid.
Other women leaders shared their thoughts on empowering women.
There is something amazing happening for the female gender, make no mistake. That the work of Auntie Angela and Co. has not been in vain. That the work and the contributions we've made to social justice, to equality, to fairness has not been in vain. That all of us are more empowered. Tell me something. Years ago, women were ashamed even to go through a separation, through a divorce, for example. Women were too embarrassed to talk about being a single mother. They wouldn't even talk about it. They wouldn't even share their parents when they walked into work. Today, we have single mothers who have raised amazing children.
Even the best moments in your life, even when things are going well, you stop and a minute say, is this? Should I? Can I? Why me? Right? There's always that self-doubt that creeps in, no matter what or who you are.
Angela Dramina Abuaje, who is the executive director of the ACK Foundation, highlighted the organization's mission to provide hope and assistance to women navigating through adversity. She underscored the significance of hearing from prominent women leaders whose journeys serve as inspirations for others.
We are very grateful to God for these 25 years of working with women and children primarily, and some men who have faced abuse, helping with legislative reform, advocacy, training several organizations, personnel in many sectors to understand sexual and gender-based violence and domestic violence issues. Today's function was to bring women together, because women is our focus, who are leaders in their organizations, public institutions and civil society institutions, and even the private sector, to tell us how have they survived, how have they made it, what kinds of values have they held on to that have made them succeed where they are and even still working towards other goals.
As Women's History Month continues, the ACK Foundation remains committed to curbing violence and abuse against women in Ghana. Through their initiatives, they provide vital support services and safe spaces for victims to seek refuge and find avenues for healing and empowerment.
Now, the Alpha Beta School has incorporated science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM courses into its curriculum. The program is to encourage pupils to embrace STEM and prepare them to solve the challenges of the future. Alpha Beta School says the launch of its STEM education program marks a step towards promoting innovation and excellence in education. Peace Votjogbe has more in this report.
Alpha Beta's modern STEM facilities offer practical learning opportunities, fostering critical thinking and problem-solving skills through real-world applications of STEM principles. The school has also launched the STEM Champion program for female students to address the gender imbalance in STEM education and employment. The program emphasizes equal opportunities for all children in STEM fields. Director of Alpha Beta Education Centers, Dr. Naomi Ejapon, highlighted the need for good facilities and having girls on the project.
We've been very proactive in making sure that our students have good facilities to be able to study STEM-related subjects. So we've been able to upgrade our science labs. We now have 2 ultra-modern labs. We've been able to create a physical science hub where students can study physical science and geography. We've been able to create a lot more STEM-related clubs, that students can join, from environmental clubs to coding, robotics, but also what we've done differently as well in the last year is we've now incorporated through one of our partners that you probably interviewed, STEM Robo by Moria Education. We've been able to put coding, robotics and AI into the mainstream curriculum. Over the last 10 years, we've been trying to get young people to do more coding, do more robotics, but because of a poor understanding, if it's done as an after-school program, etc., we find that the uptake was quite poor. So what we did is now it's compulsory for everybody from class 1 all the way to Form 3. So that children will get a taste for it. If they like it, great. If they don't like it, it's something they'll do till Form 3 and then they can leave it. But at least they have an understanding of what it is.
Chief Executive Officer of Bountiful Technologies, Seth Ogo-Ayim, stressed the need to help young girls develop their potential and promote gender equality in STEM.
It's just 20% of women in STEM, so we want to emphasize and promote that gender bridge to make sure that the girls can also contribute to the digital economy. Robots kit, and this is built out of the logos from VEX. VEX Robotics, we are the partners in the sub-region. So the kits will be taught with instructions. And this is a clown, a type of robot that can pick different elements, different process. So this was built by some of the students in the program.
Faustina, whose grandchildren are students at Alpha Beta, commended the institution for the initiative.
STEM initiative is very good because now my grandchildren understand what science and technology is. And if you want to become a robotic engineer, the subject that you have to read at the school, and you want to be a computer programmer or software developer, the kind of subject that you have to read seriously. So I think it's very, very good, and it's going to help our children all the way.
Some students in the STEM Champions program spoke to JoyNews.
Through the Alpha Beta STEM Championship for Girls, I've been able to know certain things in the STEM topics. Some of them were like the test for iodine in foods, test for starch, and test for sugars in foods.
It's very exciting, and I think it has given us a chance to all think of innovative ways to come up with different solutions to different problems.
Alpha Beta School is fostering diversity and innovation through its commitment to STEM education, preparing students for success and shaping future leaders and innovators. For JoyNews, Peace Vojogbes report, read to you.
Now, houses have been touched by irate youth in a renewed chieftaincy dispute in Bole in the Savannah region. The latest clashes follow a ruling by the Tamale High Court in favor of the Jahori clan over a parcel of land. The ruling, which sought to bring finality to a long-standing chieftaincy dispute between the Bolewura and the Jahori clan, rather inflamed tempers, leading to the burning of several homes and vehicles allegedly belonging to some Jahoris living in the Bole community. The overspill effect of the clashes was also felt in a Sola district, prompting heavy security deployment to both districts. District Chief Executive for Sola, Tuna Kalba, Jacobs Duma Kawe, feels worried about the latest development.
And I'm saying we have military and police presence. We have some military that came from the regional capital, Damango. And so people are going around their business peacefully. Today's even Sola market. There is no disturbance now. In Sola, only one house was burnt. Besides the one house being burnt, those who were attacked in Bole, they moved to Sola and sought refuge at the police station. The whole incident started from Bole, and it was a spillover to Sola. The feeding boxes are actually from Bole. So those who even came and did the burning in Sola are from Bole, not from Sola town. Yes, I spoke to my counterpart in Bole this morning. Yes, and she told me they were going in for a dissect meeting. I haven't gotten the result from her yet, but we have not had a dissect meeting because our dissect also composes of some of the security personnel from Bole. If we were to hold a meeting, it means the same people come to solve for the meeting. But we have spoken this morning. From the report I got, we have a group of people in Bole, and some of them also stay in Sola. They are called Jahori. They had a court case against the Bolewura. And then they went to the High Court in Tamale. Then they won the case against the Bolewura. Now, I know there was an appeal by the Bolora and the appeal to those who won. And it is like they were now going around yesterday to identify those communities that are supposed to be for them, where they could also now install their chiefs. And it was in that process, I don't know who mobilized the warriors to attack them, but some warriors attacked them. Yes, according to the police, they arrested 12 corporals and sent them to Damango yesterday.
Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosolio Clean Fuel in Full Quantity and Chartered Institute of Management Accountants and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountant, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountant. Election Headquarters for an informed electorate. Now, political campaigning for the 2024 general elections has been hard hit by the recent frequent intermittent power cut, which has become known as Dumso. John Mahama's Building Ghana tour has had to endure the power outages during the tour of Greater Accra and OT regions. Nana Yaojima sheds light on the impact of the power cut on the tour.
The frequent unannounced power cuts in recent times continue to negatively affect businesses and the daily lives of Ghanaians. Even before the tour of John Mahama suffered the power cuts, the former president made a demand for a load-shedding timetable at Zene in the Sisala West constituency.
Today, every day, you sleep and the lights go off. And we know that they are shedding load. They have a problem with generation. Some generation assets are down. They have a problem with paying for gas. They have a problem with paying for fuel. So every day they are shedding between 280 and 480 megawatts of power. But they will not give us a timetable and say you'll be off today, this one will be off tomorrow, because that's what Ghanaians know as Dumso.
At the tour of the Greater Accra region, the NDC flag bearer and his entourage walked into a warm conference hall for a meeting with the Regional House of Chiefs. The traditional authorities and others had to fund themselves to contain the heat. On the day, the power outage rendered the ceiling fans useless, forcing the NDC chair, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, to offer an apology.
It is true we didn't create the heat. We have no hand in whether the lights should be on or should be off. But the fact that the gathering is occasioned by us, I think we can participate, we can share in the blame of keeping you under this heat. So we apologize profusely for that.
The NDC flag bearer volunteered to support the house with a generator set.
Between today and tomorrow, we will donate a generator to the House of Chiefs. So that in this era of doom, so if we come and they put off the lights again, at least your generator will be working and will not be feeling as hot as we're feeling currently.
In the OT region, power production and distribution is managed by the Northern Electricity Distribution Company. For many, the experience with power outage would be different, but the expectations were not met.
I have experienced it myself here. Let me ask, is this Dumso? All those who spoke here are worried about the power cuts, and I have also experienced the same. Since we started this program, they have switched off the lights for about 10 times.
Frequent power cuts at the Nkwanta North constituency was a major concern to all who had the opportunity to speak at an open forum. Mr. Mahama continued to plead with power producers for a solution.
Yesterday, I experienced same at Ketekrachi. Let me plead with NEPCO to get Ketekrachi and its environs a substation. When I get to Accra, I will call their head and plead for the problem to be solved.
Na mi drone kraya, mi ankasa mefa telephone. Na ma frɛ omopenyu no. Na ma ka kye na de a mi behu wo ha. Na ma srɛ no sɛ omo behwɛ na omo nyema mo ntɛmntɛm ara. Na sɛ meka.
But if it's not done by the time I return to power, I will order for the problem to be solved.
General me be fro Ghana kunya no so a. Eno de me mpacho me ma order sɛ omo bɛyɛ na pasa kanya no engineer.
Solution to frequent power cuts seems far-reaching since the problem transcends through governments. Many continue to ask which of the manifestos for the 2024 election will spell out a clear program to solve the problem. For JoyNews, Nana Ojima reporting.
Well, the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Henry Nana Boakye, has disclosed that parliamentary candidate would be allocated target in the upcoming general elections. He said this is aimed at enticing the PCs and ensuring that they do not defer from canvassing for vote after being allocated the necessary resources with the mindset that the party is not popular in their constituency and hence cannot win the seat. Mr. Boakye was speaking at the inaugural ceremony of the Volta Regional Campaign Team in Ho as the MPP Regional Secretary at the MPP Regional Secretariat in Ho.
Our votes. Our parliamentary candidates, we are very happy to have you. We have had instances where we elect parliamentary candidates, they go to sleep, they don't work, simply because, oh, as for this place, we cannot win. As for this place, oh, we have lost already. Please, let me, on the authority of His Excellency, the next President, and the 2024 leadership of the campaign team, inform you that you are going to be given targets. We will sit with you. We are analyzing every single constituency. You are going to be given targets. So, for instance, if you achieve your target, even if you lose the elections, in our books, you have won the elections. Because you see the vote from Bantama linked to the votes in Yape Kusogo, coming to the votes in German South, moving to the votes in Jomoro, coming down to the vote in Odododio, going to the votes in Cape South, linking up to the vote in Karachi East, Bandar and the rest. That will make His Excellency the Vice President the next President of the land. So we are not going to countenance, and it has happened before. So for instance, even if you are given target, and at the end of the day, you do not achieve your target, but then you win your constituency, in our books you have lost. You know why? Because we want parliamentary and then we want presidential as well. We want parliamentary and we want presidential as well. So in as much as we are working so hard, please be guided by the targets we are going to give you.
Election Headquarters was brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Thank you so much for watching JoyNews Prime. Remember to brush your teeth day and night with Pepsodent because with Pepsodent, every smile matters. Well, up next is Prime Business with Emma Davis. Good evening.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Today, we are making a brighter tomorrow, built by our dreams and our energy. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future, together. EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa.
Countdown is on. Get ready for another awesome encounter at Harvest Praise 2024, the Anna Power Edition. Join friends and family to praise and worship with anointed ministers Alvin Slaughter, Phil Thompson, Harvest Gospel Choir, and the Harvest Theatre. Harvest Praise is on Good Friday, 29th March 2024 at the First Love Center near Trinity Seminary, Legon. Time 4 p.m. sharp. Dial star 725 star 1155 hash on all networks and buy your tickets now. Single 80 Ghana cedis, double 140 Ghana cedis, and VIP 150 Ghana cedis. Tickets are also available at Bachelor Total, Sunny FM, and all Harvest Chapel branches in Accra. Come find rest as you praise your burdens away. Harvest Praise, get your praise on.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see Sintex. Sintex.
That is so true, my daughter.
When it falls down, it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey! Sintex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Sintex again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Sintex gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Sintex is the answer. Sintex tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Day by day men, strong and refined, the skincare you deserve.
The business segment is brought to you by
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
For your QR code. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today.
Good evening and welcome to Prime Business with me, Emma Davis. Let's settle for the details.
The Bank of Ghana has cautioned Ghanaians against rejecting the 1 pesewa coin and 5 pesewa coin. Head of Currency Management at the Central Bank, Dominic Owusu, says the coins are legal tenders meant for transactions. According to him, the Central Bank will continue to monitor its currency in circulation to support the economy. He was speaking at a media engagement as part of the Ghana Month celebration.
Let me be emphatic on this, that the Central Bank, and for that matter, Bank of Ghana, is the only institution that has been given the mandate to issue and redeem any currency or denomination that the Central Bank has issued is a legal tender. And currently, the 1 pesewa up to the 200 Ghana cedis are all legal tender. So we must not refuse to accept any of those denominations. So please accept them. We cannot come after you, imprisoning you, taking you to court for refusing to accept. But since the Ghana cedi is our identity, which we have spelled out, and also it symbolizes our national heritage, please don't refuse to accept any note. For that matter, because the coins fall into the change class, we must also ensure that when we are using them, we don't just push a lot of them onto the public. In terms of when you are doing transactions, you don't just go and take 100 pieces of the 1 pesewa coin as 1 cedi. It's only for change. And within the change class, you just buy something, maybe 5 Ghana cedi, you bought something for 1 cedi, and you get a change for 2 pieces of what? 2 Ghana cedi coin. So we must be very, very rational in our change.
Unilever Ghana Limited has announced Chris Wolf-Caesar as a new Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer. His appointment takes effect from April 1, 2024. Chris will spearhead the general operations of Unilever in Ghana, among other duties. Chris is an accomplished international business executive with 24 years multi-country and multi-FMCG experience. He joins Unilever from Freesell and Campina, where he was the marketing director for Sub-Saharan Africa, managing brands and marketing activities across 44 countries in a 600 million euro business. Before joining Friesland Campina in 2018 as marketing director for Nigeria, Chris spent over 20 years working in both local and international roles for AB InBev, Sabmiller, and Unilever. He was the marketing director of West Africa, Ghana, and Nigeria, to be specific, at AB InBev, and a member of the board of directors for Africa Brewery Limited. Moving on, tomorrow's episode of Food Chain takes us through the journey of how 2 companies, AgroKing Limited and Wenka Processing Unit, how they were established due to Malvin Ni Ayibonte Smith's love for cashew and how they are tapping into the international market. Turning his favorite childhood snack, cashew, into a business, Malvin Ni Ayibonte Smith became a cashew processor. Growing up in a cashew farming community, Malvin, with friends, played with cashew and devised ways to process the nut to make it edible. Although he's a management accountant, he felt the urge 17 years ago to combine his profession and love for cashew into one and birthed AgroKing Limited and Wenka Processing Unit.
I've known cashew when I was very young, where I stayed. We had some cashew trees around, so we play with cashew, the raw nuts. We do our own roasting and all that with the raw nuts traditionally. So, and myself, I started work in a factory. Actually, I'm a management accountant by profession. So, as a management accountant, we are called factory accountants. So I started work close to factories where machines do work. So I became very accustomed to the fact that I want to be where my skill is. So I decided to set up my own processing unit. It actually started way back 17 years ago when I started what we call Winker Cashew Processing. So when you look on our brands, you have Winker Cashew Snacks. So that's where we started from. And for cashew processing, we have both what we call the primary processing and the secondary processing. So Winker, at that point, was doing both the primary and the secondary processing. So along the line, somewhere around 2019, we decided to separate the company, and then we came out with AgroKing to be the AgroKing to be the primary processor, and then Winker the secondary processor.
Cashew is one of Ghana's high-earning non-traditional exports. However, some Ghanaians believe that consuming milk after eating the cashew apple could lead to death. This myth has made cashew unpopular to some consumers. Malvin shares how he, together with other stakeholders, are helping change the narrative.
Fortunately for some of us, we didn't get to know of that myth when we were growing up. So we were taking cashew, the fruits, and because we had trees all over, we were taking the fruits. And if at that time you have the opportunity to have milk around, which was not that much, you just take it. You didn't know what was happening. When I have the opportunity to speak anywhere, in any function, and the issue comes up, I try to address them as much as possible.
Like any other business, Mr. Smith shares that financing has been a challenge.
Once I decided that that's where I want to be, all the resources that I was getting from doing my accounting work, my management accounting work, I was just putting them into that. So I started purely by raising my own funds, and then started that. Along the line, I realized that it is tougher than that, because you needed to set the structures that are large enough for you to have your processing well organized if you want to get to that point. And then the issue came up. Money, investing, the right kind of money. There are funds all over the place, but the right kind of money, the appropriate kind of financing was the problem.
Malvin disclosed that the international market for cashew kernel is huge, and Ghana is yet to fully tap from it.
We want to get to a point where we can attract these foreign investments to come in and partner us. So that was the agenda, and God being so good, we got to that point, and then we had a partner last year. The chunk of cashews are consumed in America and Europe. Aside India that consumes their own cashew, they are consumed in America and Europe, and it's shorter from here to America and Europe. So we have comparative advantage to send our cashews to America and Europe than what the Asians have.
To catch the full interview tomorrow, Saturday at 6 p.m. on the JoyNews channel. Moving on, the Ghana Investments Fund for Electronic Communication, GIFIC, has assured of reviving its operations to get all rural areas connected with data services. According to the Chief Executive, Prince Sefa, the initiative had few challenges, but the road is clear now to get the project back on track. He spoke to journalists after inspecting a training for beneficiaries of the Introduction to Computer Basics for the visually impaired in the Central Region.
As part of the Digital Transformation Centers initiative, the International Telecommunications Union, in collaboration with partners, is providing basic computer skills training for the visually impaired under the Introduction to Computer Basics for the Visually Impaired program. 450 visually impaired citizens in 13 regions are expected to be trained on the fundamentals of computers over a 15-day period. Speaking to journalists during the inspection, Chief Executive of GIFIC, Prince Sefa, hinted that work on all cell sites will resume for the beneficiary communities to be connected to data services.
It still shows, as I said, that there's still going to be quite a few communities that are going to be needing interconnectivity. So we'll continue to work. But those who haven't been connected, it had been some bottlenecks that we had. Now those bottlenecks have been worked on, and sometime over the next few weeks, we expect to be fully back on track in the field interconnecting all these people so that the teachers can go and stay at post, the nurses, the doctors, and so on and so forth.
Sefa has also been given some updates on the project as he expressed satisfaction so far.
This particular training, the ICBBI training, is one that is intended to train people in the ICTs as people who have visual impairment. And these people fall under persons with disabilities. And it's obviously very important that such a subpopulation is empowered. We empower them. It's not only about perhaps seeing some of them and showing them kindness in one fashion or the other, but giving them tools so that these people become more independent and they can do more for themselves and have to rely less on other people to be able to have a fulfilling life. So it started last year with the ST Foundation. They brought people from across the country to be trained. Okay, I think 2 such training were done. And from that, this year, we've now started training people within the underserved and unserved communities directly.
The training program is designed to develop digital skills mainly at the basic and intermediate levels, particularly in underserved communities.
Now, the British Council has reiterated its commitment to drive digital literacy and improve factual literacy skills among the youth. The program, which is aimed at equipping the youth with digital skills for jobs for the future, hopes to achieve this by providing training for lecturers of the colleges of education. There's more in this report.
Over 230 million jobs in sub-Saharan Africa will require digital skills by 2030. In light of this, the Skills for Success program aims to provide lecturers from colleges of education and universities with the knowledge and skills to improve digital literacy and factual writing skills. The project hopes to enhance academic performance and employability among the youth through the teaching and learning process. Speaking at the event, Fuleke Faderi, Senior Evaluation Advisor in Sub-Saharan Africa for the British Council, expressed hope that the project will equip the youth for future jobs.
Long term is we want to see that young people have the skills embedded in them when it comes to factual writing and media and information literacy. It's almost second nature, and that it opens up access doors for them to work maybe in journalism, in areas where you need the skills to get better jobs, and they are strongly digitally oriented. So that's what we want to see in the long term. And we believe that once we have this, it will influence the systems around them, so the work systems, their own personal life systems, their economic opportunities, because they have stronger skills.
She details the impact so far.
The project supported those student teachers who are now teachers as they went into their student practice or their teaching practice, and they were able to help the learners that were in the schools, secondary schools that they taught in. They were able to help the learners because of the skills that they had. Other than the student teachers and the subsequent teaching practice that they had, the fact that we worked with highly skilled professionals in the media and information literacy space to develop the learning materials and provided the kits which are available for use is a strong win for the project. And also that we're able to work with the government of Ghana, we're able to equip the lecturers in these higher education institutions that we worked with is a key win for the project.
Chikode Onyamerela, Programs Director at the British Council, noted that the program was carefully tailored to suit the Ghanaian education system.
We first of all engage the government through the respective ministries to identify what the need is, and then begin to design a program to meet the needs. We don't dump programs to countries. We hear from the ministries, the minister, and then of course the government institutions, just like Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, NACA for the curriculum, and hear what the need is, and then we design a program to respond to that. That is exactly what we did.
President of the Academic Business and Administrators Forum, Dr. Emmanuel Edusa Akodefuye, is calling for the collaboration between academic institutions and industry in order to churn out graduates that will provide solutions facing many sectors of the economy. According to him, this collaboration is needed to ensure that graduates from various universities in the country will enhance the business landscape. He was speaking at the inaugural ceremony of the Academic Business and Administrators Forum.
The Academic Business and Administrators Forum seeks to promote research and training in the critical areas of stakeholders' interest of the Ghanaian economy and Africa. This is expected to help bridge the gap between academia and businesses. In an interview, President of the Academic Business and Administrators Forum, Dr. Emmanuel Dusa said collaboration between the two institutions would enhance skills development and promote the business landscape.
We hope to work assiduously towards a very fruitful relationship between what I call a tripartite of business, academia, and administrators towards finding solutions to the challenges that we have as a nation, be they in agriculture, sanitation, logistics, even the law and administration, the whole gamut of society, the entire social structure. We hope these discussions will bring about changes that can move us forward as a nation.
Executive Secretary Manuel Pokusa said the forum will conduct the needed research to address problems faced by businesses to increase their acceptance of new graduates.
Academics are doing their research differently without recourse to industry. And then industry also have their departments. In fact, they call them research and development departments. And these departments operate in isolation. We believe that with all the expertise in academia, if we are able to collaborate, if we come together and we do the research, we come out with research proposals that have been developed by both parties. And then we come up with protocols and then design research questions. At the end of the day, we'll be able to come up with serious proposals that will help solve problems. And then after that, after the proposals, we'll conduct research that would solve problems for Ghana, for the various industries, and for academia.
The Academic Business and Administrators Forum seeks to analyze industrial demand and needs for sustainable solutions.
GCB Bank PLC has donated some food items worth millions of cedis to the Office of the National Chief Imam to help in the breaking of the fast during this Ramadan period. According to the bank, the gesture goes beyond their corporate social responsibility, which is playing an integral role in national development. Here's more.
The items included bags of rice, sugar, gallons of oil, boxes of water, including a cash amount of 100,000 cedis. Making the donation, Managing Director of GCB Bank PLC, Mr. Kofi Adumakon, said the donation goes beyond their corporate social responsibility, which is to familiarize themselves with the Muslim community, which hosts a chunk of the bank's branch network.
In the holy month of Ramadan, we find it very necessary to break bread with our Muslim brothers. And like he said, to support the Chief Imam. Every year we come by here, we come and thank Allah, we ask for the blessings of Allah, we pray with the Chief Imam, and then we also do what we have to do to support him, to support the many Islam followers.
Receiving the items on behalf of the Chief Imam, Ambassador Lieutenant Colonel Omar Sand Ahmed expressed gratitude for the gesture and asked for Allah's blessings for the bank. He also commended the bank for playing an integral role in national development and encouraged the bank to keep on seeking the interests of Ghanaians.
During this period of Ramadan, he has made it a point to make real donation to the National Chief Imam because of the responsibilities the old man carries in terms of opening his doors to the multitude of crowds who come in here to break the fast. And he deems it as part of his duty to bring both the Muslim workers of the institution and the Christian workers to come and also to seek spiritual intervention for the fortunes of the bank.
You might be making profits with your business or enterprise, but what is your customer acquisition cost? Dr. Maxwell Ampon explains what CAC is on this week's episode of Entrepreneur in You.
money. Hello, today we try to understand our customer acquisition cost. Picture this: you've opened a brand new sneaker store just down the road. To get people to come into your store, you print flyers, run some online ads on Facebook, Instagram, on social media, and you host a grand opening event. All these marketing efforts cost money, right? They do. Now let's say all that effort brings in 100 new customers. If you spend 5,000 Ghana cedis bringing in 100 new customers, then your customer acquisition cost is simply the 5,000 Ghana cedis divided by the 100 customers that it brought in. That is 50 Ghana cedis for every new customer. It is how much money you spend to bring in one customer to come buy your goods. Why does this matter? Because if you know that your customer acquisition cost is 50 Ghana cedis, then you will not sell the sneakers for less than 50 Ghana cedis profit, especially after taking into account all other costs, because then you run at a loss. It will mean you spend 50 Ghana to make less than 50 Ghana. So knowing your CAC, your customer acquisition cost, help you understand if you are either spending too much on marketing to get the customer in, or maybe you're not even spending enough to attract customers. It's all about getting the biggest value for your money. For entrepreneurs like us, keeping your customer acquisition cost as low as possible without sacrificing the quality of the goods or the service is that sweet spot that we are all looking for to grow sustainably. And for our everyday lives, it shows us the value of each customer and the importance of smart spending. The customer acquisition cost is not just a number for accountants. It's a flashlight that helps guide our decisions, especially in business, in small businesses. It tells you how effectively you are spending money to attract customers and also shows you where you can improve. Remember that your goal is not just to bring in more customers, but to bring in more customers in a way that adds value to your business without necessarily breaking the bank. And that's all for today. Keep well.
Brought to you by Africa School of Entrepreneurship.
Now let's take a look at how some commodities are faring on the international market. That's how we part company tonight on Prime Business. My name is Emma Davis. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. I leave you with international business, after which is Prime Sports. Please stay.
March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month.
Are you aged 45 years and over and or noticed blood in your stool and have a family history of cancer? Then don't hesitate to have a colonoscopy. Early detection of cancer and effective treatment saves lives. Visit us or call us on 0244 581 541 or 0271 054 204. Mintuba Hospital. In to serve a peculiar health need.
This is a call to you. The dreamers. The ones that see no boundaries.
Dreamers take a chance.
The explorers that chart their own path.
Unlock the vibes, connect the energy.
The ones that dare to challenge the status quo.
Get connected, feel the
When others try to think outside the box, you wonder, what box?
catch the wave, enjoy the ride.
To the architects of their journeys. Every connection is an opportunity to explore every experience. This is your call to adventure. Your journey begins here. Be bold, be daring, be free. Connecting passions, connecting dreams, connecting ambitions. Telecel, connecting energies.
Freedom, freedom.
It's my privilege to be in Tamale today. We are here because we are on a listening tour, and Tamale is the first place we chose to come to after we visited Nima. I come here because I want to tie my cloth with you and you tie yours with me. I can see that there's a lot of potential. So many things that can be done in this place that you would not need to leave here to go elsewhere to look for an opportunity. So I have come to listen to women, especially the youth, and get the blessings of my fathers. That we all come together and become one people to build one country. I am here not to talk to people, but I'm here to listen to you. What are your needs? What are your thoughts? What are your suggestions? If you were part of the government, how different would you make it?
What you are doing, you are on the right path.
If you ask me to test your product, I'll do it because I've tested the two and I've not seen any benefit out of the two political parties.
Whether you like it or not, Ghana needs a third force party in this round. We have tested MPP and we have tested NDC. We need to get a third person to compare the third person with the two parties.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Commended DBS Industries to you. Let's go to DBS Industry.
Welcome to Prime Sports with me, Razak Musbao. Now, it's been a very special day for Ghanaian athletes in the African Games because Ghana has been able to rack up some 4 gold medals. Now, let's start from the University of Ghana Stadium because that's where the action did begin with Ghana's Joseph Paul Amwa winning the gold medal in the men's 200 meters final. Now, after that, high jumper Evans Chadman Yamwa also clinched another gold medal for Ghana when he cleared a bar of 2.23 meters to top the standards. Now, let's bring you that race that Joseph Paul Amwa was involved in the 200 meters final. And after that, we'll see how Chadman won the gold medal in the high jump.
4x1. It's destiny time for Ghana and Nigeria yet again in the men's 200 meters. Running the bend really well is Claude Emmanuel of Cameroon, but Joseph Paul Amwa has come onto the home straight on the lead. Is neck to neck with Ekanem Joseph of Nigeria, but Paul Amwa is coming through. Paul Amwa is running really strongly, and it's going to be Joseph Paul Amwa. Gold for Ghana in the men's 200 meters. Joseph Paul Amwa, finally a global title to his name. He's tried in the past and it's not come true for him. And after years and years of sacrifice, he's finally African Games champion. Joseph Paul Amour is the winner of the men's 200 meters, and that will be a second gold medal in the track and field, the first on the track for the Ghanaian. Remarkable achievement for Joseph Paul Amour, 20.70. As they came through the bend, it was not obvious he was going to win it. Look at that, he had to dig deep, chased and put under pressure by Claude Emmanuel and Ekanim. Consider of Nigeria, he found the extra energy, and
the fans here loses his eyes, just takes in his environment, and he would ask for the clap.
And the home crowd would oblige. Look at that. Jama group. That's, I believe it's from, anyway, Evans Cadman. Oh, he has absolutely sailed that with space to spare, and they do the celebration of Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's not going to leave this. He's not leaving this to come back. He wants to win this outright.
This is turning out to be some competition. This is the superstar Ghanaians didn't know about, that they didn't know they had. Lots have been spoken about the others.
Look, and the camaraderie with the other jumpers is just incredible. He's such a showman, and he's turning on the banners and turning on the heat on the other jumpers. The pressure now will be on Links, Info Benjamin, Abobi, Chuanello.
Look at how high above the bar he was. This is phenomenal.
It's a
Well, early in the morning was William Amponsa who managed to clinch the silver medal in the mini marathon that was held at just around the University of Ghana Stadium there. But let's take you to the Theodosius Oko hockey action unfolded.
So the skipper, Elizabeth Opoku, would attempt another try. Elizabeth Opoku would attempt another try. She finished brilliantly earlier on. Can she do it again? Liz, can she do it? Liz, can she do it? Oh no.
She couldn't.
And she's missed. Oh dear. Oh dear, Elizabeth Opoku. Martha Uko. What a performance she's putting for Nigeria. The Nigerians cannot afford to watch this. Can they finish this off, Nigeria? Can they? Can they? But Abigail Boyd to the rescue again. Abigail Boyd to the rescue again for Ghana. How many times is she going to be rescuing Ghana in this situation?
I'm sure she wants this done as quickly as possible.
Can Ghana get it done? Yes! 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 Cecilia Mwako.
And that is a gold for Ghana.
Wins gold for Ghana.
Well, the men's hockey team had to settle for silver after losing to Egypt on penalties. Well, there's action at the Bukom Boxing Arena, and over there, Ghana been able to claim 2 gold medals in boxing. Mohamed Aite and Joseph Kome are the ones who have delivered Ghana's first ever gold medals in boxing since 1991 in the African Games. For Aite, he defeated Livins Tulembekwa Zola via unanimous decision to win the 48 kilograms boxing event, while Kome defeated Zambia's Andrew Chilata by unanimous decision in the men's 60